Hey everyone. How's everyone doing today? We are back and today's Magic Day. I got a little thrown off yesterday because I had I wasn't here on Monday, so I was like, "Oh, okay, that's right. We got to do normal content and then the day after is Magic Day." No, today's Magic Day. And so I thought what we'd do is take a look at MTGO because they have current I knew there was a Commander Masters draft, but there's also a Vintage Cube draft. So because I wanted to see what Commander Masters is like, we're going to do that. It's only 40 play points anyway. And if we have time, we'll do a Vintage Cube draft. I don't get to. Well, I guess on Moto I don't get to draft Vintage Cube very often. I do with my friends actually. A friend of mine has a Vintage Cube. It's mostly proxy, and he's not walking around with power just on him. But Vintage Cube is a lot of fun, so we'll see if we can get to that. My my setup for okay, we're gonna minimize OBS here. Hopefully this looks all right. Let me see, get an idea. Well, I can't really tell. Oh shoot. I just added this scene here, and hopefully it looks okay. Unfortunately, Magic the Gathering Online is really weird with what it looks like with on OBS. If once we get into draft, maybe we'll see if we can capture the window, but OBS just would not capture it. I know that this is kind of an issue with Magic Online. Like, notice there are like these multiple windows, and there's going to be another one when the draft actually starts. So it's a four-player draft that I wasn't really aware of. I don't really know much about this set, but I know it's mostly reprints, so I should be able to, we'll make our way through. And if we crash and burn, we crash and burn. So such as it is, that's Magic, right? Oh, I forgot to mention because I was in such a hurry to get started here. I was being rushed along by someone. I have my tea as usual. I have Earl Grey with lemon. It's like one of my favorites right now. It's so very good. Slowly becoming British. The horror. So once the draft starts, I might fiddle with OBS to see if we can get a better view. But oh, come on, we got three or four. We got need someone to pop in here. Just need one more, and we'll get this started. And we'll see how this is with a four-player draft. How many? Okay, let's see. If I okay, I know OBS is looking really bad right now. Let's turn this off and then try to add. Let's see if we can't. No, it's just not grabbing it. All right. All right. I guess we'll trudge through. Where'd it go? Oh no. Wait, hold on. It's this one. Okay. Cool. Hopefully this looks all right. Yeah, it seems all right. Okay. Okay, so you take two picks here. Evacuation is pretty good. And then Stitcher Gerolf, each player mills three, exile up to two creature cards. Make a. Okay, that's not bad. It's a little expensive. Oh God, Moto, please calm down. It's like a little stuck. Counterspell is really good. I think I'd rather Counterspell than Gerolf. I think those are kind of the picks. Obviously, Arcane Signet is super good. Maybe Arcane Signet's better than Counterspell. It is any color. I guess we're gonna. The blue is so good. I guess if we just take these two rares, you know what? I'm gonna take this evacuation and I guess the counter spell. Hopefully we won't. Okay, well here's another arcane signet. That's really good. Obviously we're looking to play blue. I don't know if we're. Do we need to build a commander deck? Do we need a commander? I don't think so, right? Enters the battlefield when he casts, you may turn a non-land permanent, so it's understand. It's expensive, but maybe. Deep Analysis is strong. Looter Il-Kor is strong. Arcane Signet's pretty good. I don't think we need Arcane Signet if we're mono blue, but we might not be mono blue. Gilded Lotus is a little dirtly. I want to stick to blue for sure. Um, I think if we're gonna stick to blue, I think we just want. Well, I guess deep analysis works well with the looter as well, so we can do that. Sapphire Medallion seems great with our currently mono blue deck, and then we can just take another looter. We can look at other colors because like there's no reason why we have to be mono blue, but looter is pretty good. Yeah, we can just take the looter. We'll see. We'll see how long we can keep the mono blue chain going, and it's until about right now. What goes well with our stuff? I mean, Tragic Slip is just a solid card. Rapacious One, I don't think is where we want to be. Frontier Warmonger. Whenever one or more creatures attack one or more of your opponents or planeswalker they control, they gain menace until end of turn. Okay, I was gonna say like, well, we attack a lot with these looters, but I don't think that's where we want to be. I like taking Command Tower. Maybe we just invest in mana fixing. I think the Prophetic Prism might be better than Terramorphic Expanse. It costs 2 mana, but it doesn't. I guess the Terramorphic Expanse only costs 1 mana. All right, we'll just take fixing for the moment. I would prefer to separate this out further, but because of how OBS is, I can't really do that. Another looter. Don't want millions of those. Frantic Search could be good. I mean, we have this deep analysis to discard. If we get more stuff like that, that is okay with being in our graveyard, something like Frantic Search could be good. I'm also okay with just monopolizing on the blue cards. Abundant Harvest is very strong, though. I think what we'll do... Maybe we don't want too many looters anyway. Okay, we're going to take Abundant Harvest. We're going to speculate on green. This makes white, so it doesn't really help us. It's expensive, but strong. I'm treating this mostly like a normal draft. Like, I'm assuming we're playing 60 cards. I could have looked into this ahead of time. A third looter just feels like a lot. Though, I guess any world where Frantic Search would be good, a looter would probably also be good. I guess if we, like, end up with some Storm stuff. But, I guess this makes mana with the Sapphire Medallion. Okay, we'll take the first Frantic Search over the third looter. Murmuring Mystic does go well with things like Frantic Search, Deep Analysis, Abundant Harvest, so I do like that. It's also the only blue card. I'm not taking this 8 mana spell. It's 8 mana. I'm not taking it. Fierce Empath could be good, so could Deadly Recluse. If we're going to play green, Dread Return. Actually, Dread Return is pretty good given our Murmuring Mystic, and looters can put stuff in the graveyard. So maybe we will look for more expensive stuff. The only thing for sure that we know is we're playing blue, but if we play other colors, that is not determined yet. Carrier Thrall is not bad. Broken Wings is good interaction. What does this do? Okay, this is not where we want to be. I'm more likely to want to play green or black than white or red. So I guess we can take this Carrier Thrall. I guess Intangible Virtue is just a strong card. It just doesn't work well with our creatures because Looter having Vigilance isn't that big a deal. I guess it being 2 power is pretty nice. We'll take Carrier Thrall. Oh, I guess with Command Tower being in here, maybe we do have a commander, or maybe that was just a dead pick. All right, we'll put this in our sideboard. I don't think we're playing it. White is pretty open, though. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then proliferate. I don't think we have anything that cares. We'll take... I guess we'll take some of this white stuff. Not plan on playing it, just in case. White's pretty open. Maybe we do play it. Attacks target creature goes 4 more. Okay, that's okay. All right, let's get these white cards in here again. Our colors are very uncertain at the moment. I guess black is pretty unlikely, given what we have at present. But it's the black card we have. It synergizes pretty well. I do like Murder of Crows. That's a pretty good card. Demon Lord Velzenlock would be great if we are in black, which I'm not sure that we are. Exclude is great. I think it's just Exclude plus... That's another Frantic Search, but I think it's Murder of Crows plus Exclude. Let's sort by mana value. I normally like to separate these out, my picks out by whether they're um, whether they're creatures or not as well. But that doesn't. I don't have the room for it at the moment. Okay, if I expand it like this, you can see it a little better. Cool. Moto. It's just so sad that like it doesn't capture very well on OBS. I think at this point we're pretty unlikely to be playing these black cards. Hmm. That said, Dread Return works for Avacyn. Ooh, it's really good with this Dread Return stuff. Counterspell is really sweet. What is Shipwreck Dowser? And just about you get an instant sorcery back. That seems pretty good too. I'm almost certainly going to take. Why don't we just take all the both of these counter spells? Um, yeah, we'll just take all this counter magic and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I need. Okay, I guess this Abundant Harvest probably not making it. I don't know if I need a commander. If I do, we're in kind of a rough spot. Especially, I didn't think about this commander tower. I was like, oh, it just makes 5 colors. That said, that pick wasn't that big a deal. I don't mind missing out on it. We might be blue-white. We have a decent amount of, like, just solid white stuff. Alright, what is this? The equal number of artifacts you control. We're not really on artifact stuff. Zakama's way out of our reach. Uh, okay. I guess that could be cool. Thriving Heath might be where we are. What is... Oh, Loyal Retainers is a sweet card. Legendary creature from graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, we need, like, a bonkers legend to sneak into play. I know Zakama is really strong, but not when you can't activate any of it. I mean, it's just a 9/9. And maybe we just take the Thriving Heath. I know this Mace works with our white proliferate spells. We have just the one, I guess. Okay. We'll take Loyal Retainers. It's just a strong card. And now we really want like some good on-color legend. I guess Terramorphic Expanse is similar to Thriving Heath, but we're decently likely to play white. I think I'll take the Terramorphic Expanse. Also, the Thriving Heath might come back, given that people aren't really playing white. Rejuvenating Springs is green-blue. Oh, we're playing a 4-player Pod, aren't we? Okay. I just realized. Yeah, this is Commander Masters. We're almost certainly going to be playing with all of our opponents. Or at least with 3 opponents. Thriving Isle is pretty good. And Fenza could be good. I'm going to take the Thriving Isle. Mind's Aglow is suspect to me. Frantic Search would be good if we had better ways to use our graveyard right now, but we currently have a lot of ways of filling it and not a lot of ways of using it. So maybe we just take this Minister Obligation. It's pretty dorky, but it's fine. Speaking of combat your turn, if you control a commander, prevent all combat damage from to creatures you control this turn. Other creatures you control gain vigilance. It's not really where I want to be. This doesn't do anything. Bonder's Ornament. Doesn't really do much for us. Okay, we'll just take this Minister of Obligation. There's another Frantic Search. Heartless Act is a strong card. Ash Barrens is good fixing. It might just be Heartless Act plus Ash Barrens. All creatures get -2/-2. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm not like giving up on the dream of playing black here. Witch's Cauldron is probably not where we want to be. Mace is fine. Herald is fine. I think we just take Herald plus this Thrall for the event that we get to play black. Same with like Tragic Slip. Thriving Heath is good fixing. We can snap that off. Shire is not. Well, I guess we have a decent amount of. Well, I guess not really. Or we don't have that much in the way of 1-power creatures, so we'll take the Tragic Slip. Yeah, I'm really not sure. If we need a commander, then we're in trouble. If we don't, okay, yeah, well, we'll just take the blue cards, I guess. I don't know if we're playing all of these. Like we have really great ways of filling the graveyard. I just wish we could do something with that. As of right now, the only thing we really have is deep analysis. Hey Camgal, to learn Magic, it takes like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, to learn the basics of the game. If you want to learn like, well, get to the point where I am, well, it takes a long time. The short version is you're trying to cast spells to defeat an opposing mage, and you need mana to do that. Okay, we have to take the deep analysis. We fill our graveyard way too well to not, and I guess another Murmuring Mystic with all our spells. If we could be mono blue, that'd be incredible. I'm not sure that we can. Inga Runize. In battlefield, scry 3. When she dies, draw draw 3 if 3 or more creatures die this turn. That's not bad. I do like just taking another counter spell. Inga Runize is also a legendary creature for loyal retainers. I think I like counterspell too much, to be honest. We're gonna take counterspell plus Inga. So what you're seeing, Camgal, is that as we're doing a booster draft, it's a little bit of a different way of playing. Where instead of building a deck, we're going to be building it on the fly. We're all like passing packs around and seeing and like taking cards out of it to build our deck. All right, we'll take the fourth counterspell. What is this thing? Enters the battlefield and attach a number of aura of equipments to it. Other creatures get one for each aura and equipment attached to it. Well, we don't have any of those, but it is a 3-power double striking creature. Battle Screech works really well with our Murmuring Mystic, so that might be where we want to be. Yeah, I think that's probably... What is Custody Squire? When it enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for an artifact, creature, or enchantment card in your graveyard. Turn each card with the most votes, or tie for the most votes to your hand. Okay, so you just get back an artifact, creature, or you get back an artifact, creature, or enchantment, but like probably the one you want least. I'll just take the Battle Screech. Magic. Magic. Please. Please. It looks complicated. That's just because the cards are very complicated. The actual game system is much less complicated than Netrunner, which we talked about last week. When it enters the battlefield, search the library for 3 instants, exile, and then shuffle. You cast something. Oh, wow. That's really good, but very risky. Goliath Sphinx. Well, if we can swing... If we can swing this Dread Return and stuff in here, I mean, maybe we can. Actually, maybe the black is better than the white at this point. Yeah, because Read the Bones is really good. Maybe we just splash like Loyal Retainers or something. This is really tough. I don't think I want to be in the world of Kaho, because the problem is if it dies, that's exceptionally bad for us. And it gives us card advantage, but we have a decent amount of that already. I don't love Goliath Sphinx, to be fair. But we can take something like Read the Bones plus Goliath, or plus Tragic Slip, actually. And then we'll get the white cards out. I guess Battle Screech. Oh, we can keep Battle Screech because that flashes back for non-white. And then we can put these black cards back in. The black might be stronger. Now the Dread Return makes like instead of Loyal Retainers makes Inga Runize less particularly relevant. The Scry 3 is still fine, and we'll need creatures. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about the direction that we're going being correct. There's some stuff that I'm like, for sure, I know I think we were doing correctly, and then there's some stuff I'm completely off. Cadaver Imp, really good with how much looting we're doing. So we're going to snap that off, and I think at this point we're going to be playing black. Possibly not white, but if we do play white, I guess we want. I guess the only cards in here that we might play are white. Maybe we even splash Loyal Retainers. I don't know. Shelter. Oh, we're not. Try not to play white. When a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you get 1 life. That's not bad given our double Murmuring Mystic. but I think it is a little bit whatever. I mean, we can just take the monarchy. I don't hate that. We'll just put this. We'll just take these white cards. We have good enough fixing where we can get away with playing. We can get away with playing three colors if we want to, even if one of them's a splash. What does this do? Uh, I mean, this is fine. Whatever. We could play it if we wanted to. Okay, well, we got back both of our blue cards, and I think at this point the Goliath Sphinx is where we want to be, and then Tahoe. I mean, we're more likely to play it than anything else. I'm really not sure that we were we were well, why is my sideboard not closing? Hello? Okay, now it closed. Sure. I'm really not sure that we were doing what we're supposed to do. Maybe blue red was where we're supposed to be. Oh, actually, we can play Squee. Squee just for our discard effects because we have so much looting. Okay, so how does this work? Okay, yes, I get that I don't have any of these. Actually, have any of these cards, but why is it telling me like, oh hey, you don't have any? We have to do a lot of cutting. Uh, so we need to. I am assuming it's still a 40 card format. Maybe not because of we ended up with so many cards. Um, we ended up with 60 total cards, so maybe it's a 60 card format. I'm not actually sure. Um, it's a 60 card format. Okay, so with 60 cards, we probably want like 25 lands. We can probably get away with like maybe we can get away with a little fewer, somewhat fewer than that, just because we have so much looting that we can find our lands. But some of our looting comes a little bit later. Well, I guess we have two Looter Ale Core, two Frantic Search. Um, the Sapphire Medallion is looking a little more suspect at this point. But let's do a count. All right, so if we put these lands here, we can add 27 lands, right? So we can actually add in some more spells. Okay, so let's look at our game plan. So if you're wondering about this weird border on the card, Moto does this when you don't own the copies of the cards. It's saying, oh, like, it's in your deck, but you obviously don't own them. But the problem is, of course we don't own them. We just did a Phantom draft. That's not really relevant. Mine's a Glow is a little suspect to me. All right, let's... Okay, I guess if we're playing any cards that aren't in our deck, and we can probably play a couple... There are going to be white cards. Palace Sentinels is kind of interesting. I don't I don't want to play like these dorky cards. I really want something like okay, like Shelter is fine. Creature tokens get 1/1. Oh, actually, Intangible Virtue is actually pretty sweet because we can splat like look. We have Thriving Isle, Thriving Heath, two Terramorphic Expanse, Commander Tower. I don't know if it's I don't know if this works. Um. Okay, Commander Masters. Hold on, there's explanation here. Oh, I see. So we can play Prismatic Piper to get our colors. Oh, we don't just get to play whatever? Uh-oh. All right, your deck must contain at least 60 cards, including commanders. Duplicate cards are allowed. Cards in your deck can only use your commander's colors. Legendary creatures and cards that say so can be your commander. Your deck requires one commander, two commanders with partner, or two commanders that each have one or fewer total colors and their color identities. If you need another partner, okay. So we do need a partner, which means we don't get to play Squee. Um, we don't have a blue-black legend. Okay, so these white cards have to come out. Oh no, that's so bad. I don't think we have enough cards if we're playing... Okay, well this Commander Tower gets better. But if we cut these... Oh, that's so bad. Okay, this might go poorly, but that's fine. Okay, so we're looking at playing 31 lands. That can't be good. But we don't have any more... I guess we can play this random card. What does this do? We're going to need a Prismatic Piper. Oh, you have to choose one? Okay, well, we're going to probably need a blue one. Um, all right, we might need some number of these. Um, we might not be able to play black because we don't have enough of the cards. Just for card count, we might need to play white instead. We don't have any legendary creatures that are in these three colors. Like we have these blue-red commanders and this green-white one, but that doesn't help us because we can't get blue in here, which is our most important color, and we can only partner if it has partner, or like if it's two commanders with one or fewer colors. So like if we had a blue commander, I guess we can make Inga Rune Eyes. Uh, we can make Inga our commander. Um, we can also make Kaho our commander, but I don't like that because he's dangerous to have around. This Goliath Sphinx has gotten a lot worse. Well, if we're playing white, oh god, this is so bad. Let's put in a lot of these random cards. Uh, okay. Well, we get some cool stuff, I guess. This is 31. I don't really want to play these cards, but we need spells. What does this do? Put all commanders you own from the command zone and from your graveyard into your hand, then shuffle your graveyard into your library. We might need this to keep ourselves alive. Uh, okay. Well, knowing now that we needed a commander, we were drafting much differently. We were drafting like this was retail because like it didn't seem like that. 26 lands. I mean, I guess that's where we are. I really don't want to play this Fencing Ace. It doesn't do anything. Okay, so we can play Thriving Isle, we can play Thriving Heap, we can play all of our lands. Okay. Add basic lands. All right, sure, whatever. This is terrible. All right, well now we know. Cool. And then when this doesn't go well, we'll do a vintage cube draft. Yeah, that went really poorly. All right, let's play. Start upon pairings is no longer a confirmation to join. Oh, okay, sure. That doesn't bother me. I wouldn't be surprised if you only play one game anyway. To be fair, I was on the lookout for commanders that would work for the colors that we were in. We just didn't really see any. We saw blue-red commanders. I don't think we saw a single blue-white or blue-black legend. Maybe we did and I missed it, but I don't think so. Well, you can go watch the VOD back or something. Uh, yeah, we don't really synergize with our commander, but our deck is really strong for what it's trying to do. It does a lot of looting to find its cards as good disruptive elements. Now, in a four-player game, Counterspell is much worse, so I shouldn't have been picking it that high. But the what it does do is, or what it is good for, is whoop, my chair just slipped. What it is good for is countering the important spells. Something I try to teach to the less knowledgeable people. I've just been playing for a long time. It's just one of the lessons to learn. Of like, when you play against counterspell decks, I know it feels like nothing you play resolves, but if they're doing it right, you're actually resolving a lot of spells. The important thing isn't to counter everything; it's just to counter every spell that matters, or the spells that matter the most. Because like we don't have infinite counter magic. We have 4 counter spells and 2 excludes, but if we place those at the right points, that could be incredibly strong. I guess one question we're gonna have is with these loyal retainers is the only legends we have are our commanders. Oh, I guess we have Kaho. Maybe we can get that back. I'm just so worried about like exiling stuff with Kaho and then just being like, well, he dies, and those cards are just gone forever. He seems extremely risky, but he's the only legends we have are Kaho plus our commanders, which makes those loyal retainers kind of iffy because do we like put the commander? First of all, am I casting Prismatic Viper? Oh god, I really don't want to. But also, do we just put Inga in the graveyard with the idea of like maybe we can retain her back? Probably not. We probably wait until we have retainers because we can just cast her again. And the campfire is probably going to be our poor man's elixir of immortality. Okay, while we're waiting for this queue to pop, which is taking kind of a bit, for Kim Gal and Chad, who's unfamiliar how to play this game, the short version is this: you're a planeswalker who's like in battle with other planeswalkers. Now we're doing this in like a very weird way, so a lot of what I'm about to tell you is not gonna be what you see. And so you're casting spells at each other and summoning creatures from different parts of the multiverse to fight on your behalf and you know fight each other, whatever. In order to cast your spells, you need mana. Lands make mana. Unfortunately, modern lands don't tell you that, but if you look at like Ash Baron, or I guess a better example, Thriving Isle, it says it taps for a blue mana, or Thriving Heath for a white mana, and that can let you cast spells. There are 5 colors in Magic: white, blue, black, red, and green, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. And so you use your lands to cast your spells, and then, you know, your creatures and spells do combat basically with your opponent. That's the really, really short version. Creatures, you know, are the heart of the game. They stay and play. They stay and play, and they attack and block and do whatever. Spells usually just do their thing and go, but then there's artifacts that stick around on the battlefield, or enchantments that do stuff, and that's like the very, very, very short version, Kemgal. It can be very complicated to like do a full like here's how you play this game. It doesn't actually take that long. Wow, this queue. Nobody's playing Commander Masters, and you know what? I'm less surprised as to why. It's a funny gimmick for a draft set, but whoo boy, like. Oh yeah, it's really hard to like. You can't read signal. I was like trying to read signals, and white was super open, black was super open, but it didn't matter. We just didn't see legends of those colors. It's rough. What we're doing right now, Kemgal, is a booster draft where, well, we did these last week as well. Basically, normally in Magic you build your deck and then you play with people, but in this, we are opening random booster packs and based on what we're seeing in there, making decisions on what to play and what cards we're going to put in our deck and what cards to take to add to our deck. So that's what we just did the draft portion. Now we're looking for a game. The thing that's extra different about this is commander, so we have access to these legendary creatures that are our commanders. We can more or less cast them whenever, and but our deck has to be the same colors. We don't get to play, because our commanders are blue and white, we don't get to play black, red, or green cards, which is unfortunate because I think our black cards are stronger than our white cards. We just don't have enough of them. If we wanted to, oh, hold on, that's right, we don't need 60 cards, we need 58. We have 8. All right, let's sort by color. I don't want to exit the queue just in case. We have 13. I guess if we played all of our black cards and played black instead of white, we would have to play 5 more lands. Play that's probably not good. Play 29 lands at our 58 card deck. Literally 50% lands. Yeah, it's rough. Our black cards are much better than our white cards. They all do something. Our white cards are pretty unimpressive. Maybe that's why it was open, but we also just didn't see. I don't know. Man, nobody is playing. If we don't get a game quickly, I'm just gonna play Vintage Cube. I don't care about losing this. This is only 40 play points, and maybe I'll in my own time I'll play out this league, but I don't want to sit here forever as we wait for a draft. I was going to say we should have just had 3 other people that we're drafting with, but it takes time to deck build sometimes, or maybe they finished before us and they're already in game. It's very possible. So we'll give it until like, I guess we'll wait 3 more minutes. We'll if we're in queue for 10 minutes, then we'll just do something else. I guess we can do the longer version. We can do more teaching about how Magic goes in the meantime. So as they say, you need lands to play your spells, right? Well, you get to put lands in your deck, and there are basic lands that you'll basically always have access to. You have to put them in the deck. You don't just get to like pull them out of thin air, but you can play any number of these basic lands, and they just make mana of their given color. There are 5 of them, just like there are 5 colors of Magic. Plains for white, Island for blue, Swamp for black, Mountain for red, and Forest for green. You can play one land per turn, and you can play whatever spells you have the mana to cast. How do you read the mana cost on a spell? A couple of good examples are in our deck. Unbounded Potential says 1 and it has a white mana symbol. That means it costs 1 mana that must be white. So, maybe from a Plains or maybe from like a Thriving Heath, something like that. And 1 mana of any variety. That's how you read the mana cost there. So I often read this as 1 and a white, 1 mana and a white. Whereas like Looter Core, I cost 1 and a blue. Or Counterspell costs blue. You can't use any mana except blue. Well, it requires you to spend 2 blue mana, and it doesn't have a way for you to spend white mana or any other color mana on it. This makes this a little harder to cast because you need double blue as opposed to just 1 and a blue, but that's often a trade-off for power level. And if you're monocolored, that's no difference at all. Creatures, when you play them, in your turn, you'll have like a few phases. The first thing you do is you untap. So when you play a land, or when you play a spell, you have to tap your land to make mana. That's what this symbol is you see on Thriving Heath, or I guess I'll choose Commander Tower because it's close to the top. You see that like little tap symbol? It's like that arrow. That says you have to turn it sideways, and basically it's used for the turn. If it's already tapped, you can't tap it again. So the first thing you do is you untap, then you have an upkeep, don't worry about that. Then you draw a card for the turn. Then you have your main phase. In your main phase, you can play your land, you can cast creatures, you can cast artifacts, you can cast basically whatever. The only thing, basically instants are the only thing you can cast whenever. Everything else you basically have to do during your main phase. When you play, then you have your combat phase, is where creatures attack, another main phase, and then your turn is over, you go to your opponent's turn. Creatures can't do anything the turn they come into play. It's a thing called Summoning Sickness. I don't know why Moto freaks out sometimes, where it just like gets stuck in this loop of expanding and making the noise. Hopefully that sound isn't too loud for you. It's fine for me. Let me know if it's a problem. But creatures enter the battlefield and they're sick. They're puking all over the place for being interdimensionally transported. So they can't do anything for the most part the turn they come into play. But after the turn they come in, the next turn, they don't have Summoning Sickness and they can attack during your attack step. They can use their tap abilities. And when you attack, you attack your opponent. And your opponent will also have creatures that they can use to block and prevent that damage. The things to note about a creature that are most important are these 2 numbers in the bottom right. Creatures, there's always 2 numbers there. So 2-1 there means it has 2 power and 1 toughness. What does that mean? It means that when this deals combat damage or anything that cares about dealing damage equal to its power, it deals 2 damage. Given that we start with 20 life, that means if this connects to your opponent 10 times, they die. It has 1 toughness, which means if it takes any damage, it will die. A creature with 0 toughness obviously just dies immediately, but some creatures have more. So like our Murder of Crows has 4 toughness. It can survive 3 damage in a turn and still not die. Our Goliath Sphinx deals 8, but has 7 toughness. Okay, it's already been 11 minutes. I'm gonna bail on this. I'll play that on my off time or something. Let's play a Vintage Cube Draft. This should go a lot quicker because everybody loves Vintage Cube Draft. That's probably why it's hard finding Commander Masters players right now, is Vintage Cube just came up, I think, today or something like that. Or at least starts August 16th. So yeah, today. This is much, much more powerful Magic. Okay, some really strong cards here. Noble Hierarch is really good. Jace, I think his time is left. Tropical Island, really strong. I'm currently looking at Noble Hierarch is probably the strongest card in the pack. There was a time where I would have first picked Treachery. Tropical Island is similarly good. These two are really close, but I think the Noble Hierarch is better. I don't like a lot of these other cards. Hymn to Torok it's way too committal. Braids, it's not exact. I don't want to first pick up Braids. I am really torn between Tropical Island and Noble Hierarch. I think it's the Hierarch. I think Hierarch is It's really close, but I think Hierarch is a strong card. Um, yeah, we'll take the Hierarch. All right. Nissa also very strong, and we just took a green card, but Tinker's so good. We have to like find stuff to work with it, and it makes me wish we took the Tropical Island instead. What does Urza do? I don't think we're playing Urza. Yeah, we're not playing Urza. Tinker is super super good. Hopefully we wheel something like Everflowing Chalice or Solemn, but like this can enable a lot of very powerful, very powerful games. Retrofitter Foundry goes great with Tinker. It's a card I don't love, to be honest. Sphinx of the Steel Wind is a okay Tinker target. We can wield that. As far as green cards, there's Green Sun Zenith, which is good. Acidic Slime, which is good. I think I want to lean into the Tinker more than I want to lean into the Hierarch, but there's no reason we couldn't be playing both. But I want to make sure our Tinker can work. Hierarch can just be in our deck. We don't have to like make it work. I mean, it might not be still. I do like. Okay, Spar's Headquarters is good. Woodford Hills is good. I think I like. I guess it's really close between which of those I like. Phyrexian Metamorph is strong. We're not necessarily in green, so we don't have to commit to it. I do like Brazen Borrower a lot, though. This card is very strong. It doesn't work so well with our Tinker plan. Maybe for that reason, we should prefer Metamorph. Metamorph is a really, really good card. Sure. We'll try to like synergize a little bit along the way. At this point, we're not really necessarily in blue or green. We can even splash Tinker if we want to. Phyrexian Metamorph can be cast without blue mana. Noble Hierarch. I mean, this is a good card. If we're in green, like I wouldn't mind being in green, but we don't have to be. We don't need to play this. Retrofitter Foundry. I mean, personally, I just find that card kind of overrated, but still. Hangerback Walker is solid. I don't love the green cards. I'm not gonna take a random talisman. Maybe it's better than the Hangerback Walker. I don't know. It's kind of close. Karn, Scion of Urza, is pretty good, especially for an artifact deck, and the other cards are dorky enough. Plus, he does make a construct that we can sack to Tinker if we need to. Maybe Karn is where I'm supposed to be. This pack, yeah, like Fallen Shinobi is probably the best card in the pack, but I don't think we're in the market for that necessarily. It works decently with the Retrofitter Foundry, I guess, but I'm gonna take Karn. Volcanic Island is really good. Often you want to be red if you're doing artifact stuff. Steel Seraph, not really where I want to be. Wishclaw, not really where I want to be. Torrential Gearhulk doesn't cast any of our spells, and I don't know, it's a little dorky. Grist is really strong, but I think we're pretty far from casting this. I think we're just going to take the Volcanic Island, see if it matters. I really wish I could I had the space to lay this out the way I normally would, but because of how Moto gets captured, I don't get to do that. Don't mind me. I'm just fiddling with OBS while we're waiting for our next pack. What would I like to see? I mean, obviously power in subsequent packs, but Bolas' Citadel would be an amazing thing to tinker into. Um, Portal to Phyrexia could be really good to tinker into as well. I do like Delighted Halfling, very strong card. It powers out Karn with Uncounterable. It's very possible that we're in green. What does Tameo do? I don't think Tameo is where we want to be. I do like Endurance well enough. I don't like Crystalline Giant so much. I think I'd rather take the Halfling. Maybe we'll be in blue-green. But Delighted Halfling is a strong enough card that I'm happy to speculate on it in a pack that's kind of whatever. I want to be doing artifact stuff because of this Tinker. So other stuff that would be good is like stuff that can help us find the Tinker. Mystic Forge lets us cast artifacts and color spells. We have only a couple of those. It could be good. Thrun is not really where we want to be. It's like, I guess it's... What the hell is this? Oh, my card's good. Wait, deals damage to... Oh, it's from... Okay, that's why. I think Mystic Forge might be just better than our other options. Okay, Scrapwork Mutt. I like Scrapwork Mutt. This is a good thing to have like Volcanic Island for. It's a cheap artifact for Tinker. It helps us smooth our draws out. I like Scrapwork Mutt here a lot. This was our pack, so obviously the Tropical Island's gone. I didn't expect to wheel that. Everflowing Chalice, very, very good. I prefer that to Solemn. Solemn's just a little slow now. And if we need to, we can even turn to a Tinker now. If we go like turn one of these 1 mana creatures, turn two, Everflowing Chalice, not kicked, Tinker it away, go into something. We're gonna put this in the 2 slot because that's probably where it's gonna be. It's also good with this Mystic Forge, good with the Karnstructs. If we need, if we, oh no, I guess there's no reason that we need to with Karn. Okay, so it looks like we're doing artifact stuff. The green is still optional, though both Noble Hierarch and Delighted Halfling are very strong. They're among the strongest 1 mana accelerants, and that's not irrelevant. They might be the strongest 1 mana accelerants. I mean, I'm excluding things like Sol Ring. I'm talking about like mana dorks. I can't think of any that are stronger. Like Birds of Paradise, I think is weaker than Noble Hierarch, but it's like moderately close. I don't mind Acidic Slime. I don't think we're playing these other cards. We might not even play the Slime, but it's fine. Um, yeah, like I'm not sure that we're in green. Honestly, we might even just be like very light on blue just for Tinker and like light on red for Volcanic Island. Um, Wormcoil Engine is. Oh, we didn't wheel the Sphinx. That's really surprising. Wormcoil Engine is a reasonable backup to tinker into, and it makes our Mystic Forge better to have more artifacts than blue spells. Even though I really really like Brazen Borrower, I think it's a better card. So at this point, we're gonna see if we can not. Well, I do like Endurance too. We'll see about maybe not playing too much. Like maybe we won't play green, so we're gonna put those green cards on the sideboard. Ponder is great. No power. Did the power check. No power. Ponder's a great card. Pentad Prism, it's fine. Botanical Sanctum's fine. I think it's just Ponder. Ponder's a good card. Not mad about it. Helps us find our stuff. This pack is not exactly where we want to be. Wheel of Fortune, strong card, but not really something that we do very well with at the moment. Ponder is also, it kind of works with Mystic Forge. You can't cast it from the top of your library with the Forge, but you can order your library with it. Mox Opal is pretty good. I do like Time Warp. I do like Ignoble Hierarch, but we're going to try to be more colorless for this Mystic Forge. But Opal works well with Tinker, works well with Mystic Forge. I don't think we're Mind's Desiring. Polluted Delta is interesting. Maybe we can like wheel the Mox Opal, since we should be the only heavy artifacts deck. And the Delta helps us get Volcanic Island. Oh, that's actually pretty tough. Um, I'm gonna take the Opal, and maybe that's wrong. Aetherflux Reservoir is okay. Gitaxian Probe is solid. Um, maybe Reservoir is good. I mean, it can help us. The problem is I don't think we're gonna cast enough spells in a turn. I guess if we find Bolas' Citadel, Aetherflux Reservoir is gonna be insane, but it'll wheel. I'm gonna take the Gitaxian Probe. It's just a very good card. Roggen Triumph. Oh, Tolarian Academy. Perfect. That's what I want. Tolarian Academy is very good. We have a decent amount of artifacts. We have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Like, yeah, okay. I still want more artifact stuff. I'd really love to see Bolas' Citadel. It's probably like number one card I want to see that's not power. Though I guess Bolas' Citadel is a little awkward because we can't cast it very well, and we can only tinker into it. Though I guess anything we want to tinker into, we're pretty unlikely to want to cast. Like a Blightsteel, you could cast it, I guess, but you're not going to. Hallowed Fountain would normally be on my radar, but we don't have any white stuff. We don't have any white spells, and we don't have any fetches that make Hallowed Fountain better. Uh, Dig Through Time is good, but we just don't fill our graveyard very well. Archon of Cruelty is great, but not really where we are. Maybe we just take this Arid Mesa and see if it. Well, I guess Arid Mesa is currently a blue-red land. It gets Volcanic Island. Archon is probably the best card in the pack, but we can't get it into play at the moment. Yeah, we'll take the Arid Mesa. It's good to have good. It's good to have fixing. You want your colors to work. Oh, I guess you can't really see this Wormcoil Engine hanging out here. It's a Wormcoil Engine. I know it's behind my face or whatever, but my face is more important at the end of the day. Pretty unlikely to play any of these spells. It's possible we cut our 1 mana green creatures as well. We'll see. Some stuff is not really shaping up the way I'd like it to. Some stuff is. We'll probably play like one mount. The thing is, the Arid Mesa, if we're only red for Scrapwork Mutt, I don't want to put in a mountain so that this thing has two targets. It's white. Getting planes doesn't do anything for us. If we wheel something like if we wheel the Hallowed Fountain, sure. I don't think we will. But so it's like not super. It's not necessarily going to work, but it was better than anything in there. Talisman of Creativity is not bad. It's another artifact. I don't hate Teferi. I do like this card. To me, it's between the Talisman and Teferi. I guess Talisman is probably better. It works with the Mystic Forge. It works with Tinker. It's another red source for Scrapwork Mutt. Maybe we'll play red. There are good artifact matters cards in red. Maybe we'll find some of that. I don't know. I don't know. We currently have 3 blue spells that are not artifacts, 2 green spells that are not artifacts, and we have. Oh, we can cast Karn off of Mystic Forge because you can cast colorless spells or artifacts. So he's a colorless spell, even though he's not an artifact. Weirdly, I don't know. Would it be strange for Karn to be a legendary artifact planeswalker? I mean, he's an artifact creature when he's not a planeswalker. Would that be strange? I think that would be fine. Obviously, it would make Karns a lot worse because they can be destroyed with Shatter or whatever, but that's still fine. Plateau is not really necessary. Sundering Titan is pretty good to tinker into. It gives us a thing. Crucible would be nice if we had something like Strip Mine, but we don't. And I do want to have a better tinker target than Wormcoil Engine. And Sundering Titan is good. We're going to be pretty low on colors. I think at this point we're not playing these green creatures. If we're mono blue, maybe like Splash Volcanic Isle or something, it won't destroy very many of our lands. For those of you unfamiliar, well, I guess I'll read it since it's behind my face. Well, I'll put it over here. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, first of all, it's a 7/10, which is such a weird stat line. But when it enters or leaves the battlefield, for each basic land type, you destroy a land of that type. Fact or Fiction's not bad. I don't think I want the random Talisman. Hard Evidence does make a clue that is an artifact, but I don't think that is that big a deal. Maybe Fact or Fiction is a little dorky. But I guess Hard Evidence is dorkier, and I don't think Talisman is where we want to be. Uh, I'm a little torn. All right, I'm gonna take the Fact or Fiction, but I don't know if it's right. The thing I'm considering as to why it might not be good. Maybe we can take the Pentad Prism now. I don't know if we want it. Actually, we'll take Memory Jar, put it in Cyborg. The thing is with Fact or Fiction, so I can't cast it off of Mystic Forge. Okay, fine. We already have spells like that. It's not the end of the world. But it could also, like, sure, if it flips Tinker, it might flip Tinker and our Tinker target. And, just we won't, like, it'll put it in the graveyard or whatever. We don't have great recursion at the moment, so I might not play the Fact or Fiction as much as I love the card. And I know it's better with our three. We have Talisman of Creativity, Everflowing Chalice, and Mox Opal, so we can play it a turn early. But I am worried about the fail rate. The card does have a fail rate, and especially when you have some amount of specific stuff that you want to remain in your deck. There's more good Artifact Matter stuff that we haven't seen. I don't know. Can't think of what right in a second. We'll take the Ignoble Hierarch if we do play green, which I don't think so. Well, we're pretty unlikely to play green. I don't think we can. Actually, we might be able to cast Ulamog. We have Tolarian Academy. I'm gonna take Ulamog. We have Tolarian Academy. We have a few of these mana rocks. I don't really want to be there. Yeah, I figured this would wheel. Okay, we can take the Aetherflux Reservoir now. With Mystic Forge, we can get some amount of stuff going. I know that works at odds with our Ulamog, so maybe this will be on the sideboard for the moment. But, it could work out, especially if we find Bolas of Citadel. Bolas of Citadel plus Aetherflux Reservoir will let us just churn through our deck. And we can't get the Citadel into play except for Tinker currently, but we can solve that problem. This is the kind of thing like maybe we find Brainstorm, which I think is a highly overrated card in Cube. It's good, but not as good as it is in Legacy, and I think a lot of people get that mindset stuck in their head and they forget, like, oh, this isn't Legacy, it's Cube. There's some stuff that makes Brainstorm good that doesn't in Legacy that doesn't exist here. We're not playing any of these cards. What's this even do? It's a good card, but we're not playing it. Yep, we're just not going to play any of these cards, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the card that looks kind of interesting. Concealing Curtains. Defender, 2 and a black, transform it at sorcery. It's an 0-4 to start. 3/4 menace. When it transforms into the Revealing Eye, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, and they discard the card, and they draw a card. Okay, that's a fine creature. If it just said discard a card, it would probably be pretty busted. Why is it doing this? It did this last draft too, where it just doesn't. When I'm telling it to shrink the sideboard, it's not actually. Oh, it's because I was hovering it. Okay, when I stop hovering it. Okay. Hallowed Fountain came back, which makes our Arid Mesa better. There's also the Random Talisman. I think the Hallowed Fountain is better than this Random Talisman. I don't think I want the sword. The Reliquary is an interesting card. If we were going to play green, like if we had the fixing for it, we could play the green, and then Knight of the Reliquary can help us get our Tolarian Academy. Part of the problem, though, of course, is that it's making our Sundering Titan worse. Even the presence of Hallowed Fountain makes our Sundering Titan worse for us. We're just hoping that, like, well, we won't have to blow up that many of our lands, or that it won't matter, or maybe this won't be in play. But it does justify the inclusion of this Arid Mesa. Now Arid Mesa gets 2 lands in our deck. I would like 1 more, but give me a moment. So, obviously, power would be fantastic. Obviously we don't necessarily need it. We're at 15. Okay, so we have 4 lands. Means we're at 15 cards, but we're also probably going to play a little bit lighter on lands, just because we have multiple accelerants, and artifact decks tend to have that. Obviously, power would be great. Ooh, Helm of Awakening is actually really good for us. I'm going to take Mana Drain, but I would love for Helm of Awakening to come back. I don't think a lot of people want it, but one thing to note about it is that all spells cost 1 less. That includes our opponents, so it's symmetrical. But it means this Mystic Forge Aetherflux Reservoir plan is actually kind of real. We can just rip through the top of our deck. But we're taking Mana Drain. No power, big sad. The big thing we hope to wheel here is this helm. I wouldn't be mad about a Shelldock Isle, but yeah. The Mana Drain does make Ulamog better. Cauldron Complete, another good thing to tinker into. I don't hate that. Can let us put this Worm Coil on our sideboard. Basalt Monolith is cute, but we don't really do anything with it. I think it's easily this Cauldron Complete. A Seek's Chariot, by the way, an artifact. So you know, if we were in the green version, there is a green version of the artifact deck. Okay. Mishra's Bauble, I like. Savai Triumph is not where we are. Temple Garden doesn't really do anything. Treasure Cruise, not really where we are. Enlightened Tutor can get an artifact. We should get like our Mystic Forge or something. I think I'd rather just take the Bauble. One thing to note is that this Mox Opal does require 3 artifacts to be in play, and this Tolarian Academy wants as many artifacts as possible. So this Bauble might just sit in play as a like de facto Mox Sapphire. It's not exactly that. Relic of Progenitus is not bad. Triplicate Titan? I think Triplicate Titan might be a good thing to tinker into as well. It's a good like top end. I don't know how many of those we need necessarily, and it might be better than Sundering Titan actually. It's a 9/9 flying vigilance trample. When it dies, it makes a 3/3 with flying, a 3/3 with vigilance, and a 3/3 with trample. It's a lot of power. It's probably better than Sundering Titan actually. The relic would be nice to get back, but we don't need it. Okay, as of right now, I think I want to play 2 Tinker targets. You're unlikely to draw both before the Tinker, though we could play 3 if we wanted to. I think these 2 are slightly better. Cauldron might be... Cauldron's kind of close to... It is kind of close to the Sundering Titan, I think. I'm trying to like figure out what's going on in this art. I see it's holding the Sword of Cauldron. I guess it's wearing the helm? I don't see the shield anywhere. It's supposed to be, by the way, for anyone who's not familiar, there are 3 Cauldron weapons, and this is the confluence of all of them. Oh, Baleful Strix, such a good card. If we could play it, I would. But we can't. Gauntlet Shrine doesn't do anything. Breeding Pool doesn't do anything. Ugin's okay. I mean, we can make that much mana, and I think I'd rather have that as like, well, we could make this much mana than something like Ulamog. It's a little bit cheaper. I don't think we're playing anything out of this pack. Ugin's the closest that makes the cut, I guess. Now that we have this much top end, I'd like a little bit more in the way of acceleration. This pack's pretty bad for us. No blue cards, except for Baleful Strix, but we're like, that's one of the colors that we can't really fix for. Like white or red we can fix for. Is there anything in our sideboard that I may have overlooked? I mean, Memory Jar does get better if we get the Helm of Awakening back. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Ugin than Ulamog. But no, there's no random like red card or white card because now that we have Volcanic Island and Air Mesa Load Fountain, we could splash, and we have Talisman of Creativity that also makes red if we need it. Plus, we have a Scrapwork mod that makes us want to have some access to red mana. We don't need it. We don't need to fly. We don't need to unearth this. Though, by the way, unearthing Scrapwork into Tinker is pretty real. This deck feels like we don't have that many cards. We have 18, and we have a bunch of picks remaining, but yeah, it feels like we're playing a lot. Like we don't have as many cards as I would like at this point in the draft. Let's see, we've seen 35 cards. I'm not going to try to do that. Snap is okay. Blightsteel is probably better than Ugin. Well, I guess probably not, actually. Sail into the West could be really good, but we don't make green that well. Snap. Snap is actually pretty funny with Tolarian Academy, but I don't think that's where we are. Zirda. Activated abilities cost 2 less. We don't have anything that rewards us for that. think we'll take the the Blightsteel Colossus. One of the things, I'm not sure if we'll play it. The thing that makes it a little awkward with, Trinket Mage I do like. Uh, what is this? Rona. Whenever you cast a legendary spell on tap or tap, draw a card, discard a card, you can pay a bunch of mana to flip her. When a source deals damage to her, so the source's control, exile a card from a hand at random. If it's a land, you can put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you may cast it for free. It's a pretty strong card. I think I prefer Trinket Mage. Trinket Mage just gets one of our, like, we have 3 things they can get. It's fine. The thing is with Blightsteel is, like, you can tinker into it, but they have a turn, right? It's not going to kill them that turn. And it doesn't do anything if they can answer it. Obviously, answering it isn't trivial. It's indestructible and enormous. But if they can, you know, it's like, on the other hand, like, we can't tinker into Ugin, but Ugin is 8 mana, whereas Blightsteel is 12. So if we draw it, or if we find it with Mystic Forge, we might be able to cast it. Yeah, I think I've talked myself off of the Blightsteel. We can just tinker into Triplicate Titan as our top end, and that's fine. Spellseeker gets Ponder, Mana Drain, get Probe. That's probably good enough. Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of cards I wish we saw that we just didn't. A little unfortunate. So we're at 20 playables. Maybe we will play some of this random stuff that's in our sideboard. The Helm of Awakening might come back. I think it's the next pack. If I remember right, Helm of Awakening does make it in here, by the way. In case I hadn't made that clear, my chair keeps slipping. It jolts me. It surprises me. So if you saw me with a look of terror on my face, that's what happened. The Helm of Awakening didn't wheel. That's very surprising. This is uncastable, right? It's so good, but it's uncastable. We can splash Savine's Reclamation. We have, you know, kind of 2 white sources. Cryptic Command is really good. Yeah, we can take that. Maybe play like 1 Plains, since we have an actual white spell, but we don't even need to cast this for a while. And we can... What does it get back, though? It gets back Retrofitter Foundry, Trinket Mage, Spellseeker, Talisman. I guess it's not even that good. Never mind. Doesn't get back that much. Like, I know it can get back Mishra's Bauble, but, like, it's 3 mana delayed draw card. Is that really good? Oh, yeah, the lemon in the tea. I'm an evangelist for it now. I know I talk about it every time, but it is quite good. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I really wished we saw that we didn't. Maybe this wasn't the right deck to be in, but I don't know. Like, we were getting some stuff. Like, we were getting pretty solid signals for some of it. We got Tolarian Academy like 3rd or 4th pick, which is about right for where it's supposed to be, but I guess we just didn't, like, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of stuff we didn't see, so maybe this wasn't the right deck to be. I'm not sure. One of the difficult things, I guess I should say, about Vintage Cube is that everything is so powerful. I actually do like Enlightened Tutor. This one I will splash for. We can play 1 Plains because it gets us our Mystic Forge, which can do a lot of stuff. We can also, like, get one of these monsters if we need it. Maybe that's not right. I don't know. One of the difficult things about Vintage Cube is that every card is good, which makes Signals a little more difficult because it's like, okay, yes, we were seeing cards for this strategy. I mean, we got past a Tinker or whatever. But that might be because someone was taking better cards for this strategy from the same pack, you know. Savannah doesn't do anything. We'll just take a Venser. And these cards go on my sideboard. Definitely don't want to play Dark Confidant in my Cauldron Complete Ugin Triplicate Titan deck. This deck might not be very good. We'll see if we can make it work. One thing, so we have 23 playables right now, but I also wouldn't mind playing like 16 lands because we have Everflowing Chalice, Talisman of Creativity, Mox Opal. I guess it's not that much. Zirda. Okay. Well, it took that. Zerta would be good if we got the Basalt Monolith, which is also gone. Yeah, actually, a lot of stuff just didn't wheel. Wonder if someone else was doing artifact stuff, but I don't know. Like, we found a decent amount of artifact stuff. There's a chance we play the Talisman instead of land number 17. Reason being, it's another artifact, right? It makes red for the Scrapwork Mutt. It's like castable off a Mystic Forge where a land isn't. It adds mana for Tolarian Academy where land doesn't. Though on the other hand, if we play 16 lands and one of those lands is Tolarian Academy, we kind of have 15 lands, which is a little scary, especially with our big stuff there. Maybe we just don't play this Enlightened Tutor. Maybe that's the... Yeah, I guess the Enlightened Tutor, because it would be nice to justify having Arid Mesa Hollowed Fountain. And even the one planes, the only thing it can really step on is Mana Drain. It can't really step on Cryptic Command. But we could put these all in one pile. But what was I saying? Oh, but like it's not that big a deal to go get Mystic Forge or this other stuff. Like we're down a card when we do it, and it's another color that we'll need. Yeah, we'll just take this out. Which means this Arid Mesa, I think it's still worth playing Arid Mesa for Volcanic Island and then playing the Hollowed Fountain so it has another target. And then we just play all islands in here. 13 more, which gives us 17 lands. That's probably fine. Alright, this deck isn't the best, but... Whoops. Yeah, all islands, cool. This deck isn't the best, but maybe we can make it work. I don't know. I was trying to follow the signals. Like I got past a Tinker. Green kind of dried up a bit. I guess we opened the Mana Drain. We didn't see that much in the way of blue, but we saw like decent artifacts coming through. Someone took the Sphinx of the Steel Wind. That is really weird to me. Maybe someone was in like Reanimator or Sneak and Show or something, and or some like just some big creature cheat deck, and that's why they wanted it. Maybe no one opened the Bolas's Citadel, and that's why we didn't see it. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of stuff that's pretty confusing to me about how that draft went, and I'm not. I can't. I don't know. I don't have a good explanation for how some of these things happened the way they did. I mean, obviously there is a good explanation. There are reasons our fellow drafters made the decisions they did. I just can't think of what they would be. Oh, maybe we want this Fact or Fiction. We have a lot of 4s, but it is a strong card. All right, we'll play around and we'll see if we want that kind of, because it's good for card draw as well. Where are our opponents? Man, no one's playing today. We waited what, 11 minutes for our Commander Masters pod to fire? That just didn't happen. Okay, there we go. Cool. We can be rid of this. Oh, I know you guys can't see this very well. Let me make myself smaller here. Yeah, okay, you can see what matters. Yeah, sand seems fine. We can play Talisman into Trinket Mage, maybe play Everflowing Chalice for 2, and then play Cauldron Complete. Tropical Island Preordained. Wooded Foothills Tropical Island Preordained. My opponent has some good cards. It's a series of cards I would enjoy playing on turn 1. I gotta remember how to do Moto. I'm so used to Arena. All right. Island is fine. Okay. Well, I guess there's. Okay, so we're not doing anything on turn 1. Our opponent. Oh, I should check to see. How do I open the chat again? Uh-oh. How do I open the chat? There's the chat. I wanted to see what they did with the. Oh no, I want the game log, I guess. I want the game. I want to see what they did with the preordain. Top bottom. Okay, that makes sense. All right, Utopia Sprawl. I guess we will match them with some acceleration of our own. Play a Talisman of Creativity. Next turn. Next turn, so we have a kind of a decision. So we'll have 4 mana. We can play Everflowing Chalice into Trinket Mage. The thing that will, what that will let us do is hold up Cryptic Command on the following turn, but it will keep us a little bit away from this Cauldron Complete, because we'll have 1 less mana than if we cast this for 2, which we could do. I guess we can cast this for 2 anyway. Our opponent's kind of not doing anything. They chose blue with this Utopia Sprawl, so they could have counter magic. I don't think... Actually, if we Chalice into Trinket Mage, we can get Mox Opal, which is the same mana. Okay, that settles it. Hello? There we go. Cast with multi-kicker, a kicker. By the way, there used to be an option to just cast, and people would goof it all the time and accidentally cast it without kicking it at all, and ruin their own game. Play a Trinket Mage. This will get Mox Opal. We can get Mishra's Bauble, but I think the Opal is better. It lets us cast this Cauldron Complete next turn. They do want to count. Okay, Remand. That's sure fair. Good use of Remand. Just like a little bit of a delay. They don't care enough to like hard counter this, I'm sure, but they wouldn't mind it coming down later. Yeah, good use. So my opponent's doing stuff that I would want to be doing, except for how they're not doing anything. We have a decent amount of mana here. They have 5 mana. We'll have 6 next turn, so we can't cast this Cauldron Complete. We're probably still going to Trinket Mage for Opal. That will still keep up Cryptic Command, and then we can cast one of these next turn. Nissa, who shakes the world. Strong card. Okay, that's going to be rough. We might not be able to beat that. We'll see. Right, we can just F6 through this. I call it F6 because it used to be F6, but now it's just 6. But that doesn't sound as nice to say. We can just 6 through this. All right. I think we still play Trinket Mage. Oh, they have so much mana next turn. Trinket Mage still keeps up Cryptic Command through Mox Opal. Yeah. Get this Mox Opal, cast Mox Opal. And then we can pass the turn. We can cast Cryptic Command, and then on subsequent turns we can... And on the next turn we can jam this Cauldron Complete, which is pretty good at taking over a game. Does it make this a green creature? Doesn't seem like it. It does not become green. So Ugin can't 0 and kill it all. We might -5 with Ugin if we get there. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So if we draw a land, we can slam Ugin instead of Kaldra. The issue with Ugin is that we'd have to -5 to kill the Nissa, and they'll still have at least 2 creatures. Because Nissa's almost certainly going to plus. It's a lot of mana. Well, that's really bad. We'll see what they do. Now we need a land to just play Kaldra Complete. But I was going to say Kaldra deals with Ulamog decently well, except for... Well, Ulamog's not going to be able to play. We're going to counter it. Maybe we counter and bounce Nissa. That's a weird selection. We're going to counter and then... Let's see. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Even if we draw a land. So we can't cast Cauldron next turn no matter what. I guess if we draw land plus Mishra's Bauble, we can cast it. Or if we draw Tolarian Academy. And I think if we can cast... if we return Nissa, we don't have to deal with it all this turn. And our opponent will have to recast it, which makes it a little bit harder. It gives us probably more time. Another shot at Tolarian Academy is is enticing here, but I think we have to counter inbounds. Because they haven't activated Nissa yet this turn, which I think they should have before casting their spell. They get to exile these 2 permanents. We'll have 4 mana, 5 if we draw land. I guess 5, like this Retrofitter Foundry will become free because it'll turn the Mox Opal back on. So unless we draw exactly Tolarian Academy, I don't think we can cast Kaldra this turn. This is Haste Vigilance. Mana Drain's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty great. So we're going to cast this Retrofitter Foundry. Attack for 2. And then we can Mana Drain the Nissa on the way back down. That should be the majority of our opponent's turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana before our land. So if they have a land, they have access to 7 mana. Though they might want to... Well, I guess this is Vigilance, so they might want to attack with it anyway. Yeah, they could have sequenced that last turn a little bit better. They could have attacked, like, activated Nissa, attacked. They tapped out a blue, which tells me... Well, I mean, they have 1 blue mana. But yeah, Mana Drain that, and now we can slam one of our huge spells. And we still get to make a servo. We're just going to take 3. We could chump it with a servo, but I think I'd rather just have the body. We'll do it now. Reason being, we have Tolarian Academy deck, we have Tinker in our deck. We still have one big thing to Tinker for, and might as well just, like, life is a resource. We can just go to 14. That's not a big deal. I feel like we're turning the corner here. The Ulamog is dealt with. The Nissa is dealt with. We have an initiative here. I think I'd rather get Ugin into play. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Cast this guy. Ugin picks off the land while ticking up, which means like now it's exceptionally hard to deal with. Now we can make another servo if we want to. We can hold up what looks like counter magic. We're still representing 3 mana here. So our opponent might have to think about counter spells. We've already cast 2 of them this game. I think we're in a good spot. I like our position here. Now our opponent has 3 cards, 3 unknowns, and a decent amount of mana. Not a huge amount. They have, what, 6 mana, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So if they could do stuff here. Our creatures are pretty whatever. Our Retrofitter Foundry is okay. Like, it's not... don't get me wrong. It's not, like, doing that great. I don't really want to spend the mana I would need to turn a servo into a 4/4. Because we can't do it this turn anyway. So if they kill Ugin, that goes a long way into stabilizing for them. That should be probably... My guess is that's probably going to be the first priority that they have. They are doing a think, though. They might be debating... Oh, I just realized our opponent's name is Rusty Shackleford. I have some friends who will appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, it's a King of the Hill reference. If I'm not mistaken, Dale Gribble. It's like an alias he uses. All right. This opponent's got something here. 6 mana. 4 of a blue. Is this an upheaval? Upheaval can't be good for you. No, this looks like an X spell. Turnabout. Okay. Okay. Target themselves. Untap their lands. So I have up to 8 mana here. That is scary. What you got? Upheaval here would be a lot better. Torrential Gearhulk. Okay, you're going to Gearhulk the Turnabout to untap your lands again. I mean, that's just mana neutral. That doesn't really do anything. I guess it gets the Gearhulk into play. Okay. Sure. Okay. Still 8 mana. Upheaval would be really, really good for them. Don't get me wrong. But I think we come out of that pretty well. Okay, 1 card left in hand, and they spent a lot of their mana. It's definitely not Upheaval now. 6 mana. Mind's Desire. Oh, okay. Okay, they were just building Storm. Fair. Yeah. So they cast Turnabout, Gearhulk, Coalition Relic, and Turnabout. Okay, sure. Force of Will. Their opponent has a lot of good cards. Not really ones that necessarily do anything right now. Sure. Sheldock Isle. Snap. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't do anything. If they try to snap my token, I will definitely turn it into a Thopter. Island. Thirst for Discovery. So Thirst for Discovery is pretty good. But the rest of this is pretty irrelevant. I don't know if they want to... Like, they can snap my Trinket Mage, because I can't turn that into a Thopter. They can also snap their Torrential Hero Hulk to rebuy it. But I don't... Oh, and they can snap to untap their Sheldock Isle. They should target literally anything but my Servo. If they target my Servo, 100% turn it into a Thopter in response. Okay, they could have some stuff going here. They have another shot at some relevant spell. Probably thinking about whether they Thirst for Discovery first. I mean, they probably... I mean, you should just... Yeah, okay. Like, you should just cast your spells. It doesn't really matter. Okay, my opponent has a pretty cool deck. I like what they're doing. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play. Discard an island. Oh, full value. Okay, okay, okay. They might be concerned that I have some point of interaction that because I haven't passed through the turn. Now, I'm mostly doing that because of this Retrofitter Foundry. Yeah, that's the one wrong choice. Pay one, second servo. The reason why is I can take the target out from underneath them. Now their snap counters for no legal targets, and they don't get to untap 2 lands. And it didn't really cost me anything. But if they targeted either other creature, they'd be fine. Okay, let's see. I have 6 mana. If I draw a land, do I Cauldron? Yeah, I guess I do. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cast Cauldron complete. Living Weapon. This is another reason why green can do artifact stuff sometimes, is it's just like, well, green is also good at accelerating out monstrous spells, and, you know, that doesn't require blue mana to cast this. This block does not work in your favor, friends. Because my creature's indestructible and exiles yours when it connects. Now I can just go upstairs with Ugin. We can ult with Ugin next turn if we want to, which we probably do. Gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, put up to 7 permanents from your hand on the battlefield. Yeah, seems good. Our opponent has 3 cards plus their Sheldock card, so they could do some stuff here. This game is definitely not locked up, but they have a few pretty significant hurdles. Pretty important cards to answer. Ugin's about to ult. This Cauldron complete is a threat. I mean, it's mostly just a 5/5, but alright. There's a lot of stuff that can come out of the Sheldock Isle that would be good. Sail into the West. Okay. So, Will of the Council. Starting with you, each player votes for Return or Embark. If Return gets more votes, each player returns up to 2 cards from their graveyard to their hand. Then you exile it. If Embark gets more votes or is tied, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. So, we'll see what they choose. I'm almost certainly going to choose draw 7. Because my hand is empty. They have 2 cards. I don't want them returning this. Well, I guess I don't really care if there's... Okay, they chose Embark anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I will definitely do that thing. So they discarded Fast Bond Channel. Okay, yeah, their hand wasn't doing anything. Yeah, we drew some cards. I mean, none of it matters right this second because we don't have the mana. But, I mean, they have a Fresh Grip of 7. That said, they also only have 7 cards in their library. So, oh, and they're casting Consider. They might be on a Thassa's Oracle plan, or alternatively, they might be about to die. Or I should maybe not about to die, but like very close to dying. Oh, they're on High Tide? Wow. Okay. They have a couple different directions their deck is going. I guess this is a High Tide deck with just like Nissa for mana or whatever. Yeah, this is really weird. Their deck is a little bit strange now that I see stuff like High Tide and like Fast Bond Channel. I guess Channel works well with Ulamog or whatever. Fast Bond is a card I don't know. I tend to agree that it's overrated. Okay. Yeah. They also have to win with very few cards left. Yeah. I don't think there's anything we necessarily want here. Um, Ulamog the Infinite Gyro doesn't really do anything. Sunray Titan Worm Coil, Memory Jar. Memory Jar could be good. I don't think so. I don't think we need to change anything. I think we can just run it back. Deck's perfect. Run it back. Oof. Yeah, can't keep this. 5 lands, a 9 mana spell, and a redraw. Yeah, we're sending this one back. Uh, our opponent mulligan to 6 cards. We can keep this. We'll just put back. Oh, this is actually kind of a rough one. Okay, we'll put back Ugin. We're pretty far from it. Maybe we shouldn't have kept it. They should mulled to 5. We probably should have mulled to 5 also. I was like, oh, okay, this hand does stuff, and then I realized, wait, no, this Mox Opal doesn't actually do anything, so it's already kind of like a 5. The Ugin we're exceptionally far from. All right, our opponent I think kept 5. Yeah, they kept 5 cards. All right, tapped Reading Pool, sure. This is actually a pretty bad hand. We should have sent it back. We don't do anything for kind of a while, but I guess once we do get to doing stuff, what we do is good. Aetherflux Reservoir, not exactly where we want to be. Another 4 mana spell. That's not what I wanted. Love some cheap artifacts, especially like Talisman of Creativity, Everflowing Chalice. Even Mishra's Bauble. Well, Mishra's Bauble is a little awkward because it doesn't get us to the Mox Opal being online, but we wouldn't want to crack it because it puts us, one artifact away. Okay, our opponent's playing Land Go, which is understandable given that they're on 5 cards, and also exactly what we want. Okay, Island, not exactly what we want. But if our opponent's not doing anything, I mean, we can hang out. I guess the question is, once we get to 4 mana, if this holding pattern persists, when we get to 4 mana, the question is, do we jam Karn or do we play Venser? I I'm in the camp of jam Karn, just get it down and then hold up the reactive stuff. But I guess we'll see what's going on. Thespian's Stage. Interesting. We didn't see Dark Depths, and we saw most of their deck. Yeah, we can play a Spellseeker. Probably getting Gitaxian Probe. I just want to see what they're up to. Can't imagine they're... I mean, maybe if they had Remand, it'd be a good Remand here. Oh, yes, we will absolutely use this ability. Oh, actually, we have Mana Drain. We'll get Mana Drain. I forgot we have Mana Drain. Gitaxian Probe would have been cool here, get to see what they're up to, but now we can just hold up Mana Drain. They'll have to jam something into it, and then we play some spells. This Aetherflux Reservoir looking rather embarrassing at the moment. Yeah, I guess without Mystic Forge going, this card is really bad. Should have considered that. That's something I know I do. Like a problem I know I have when I draft is I'm looking at all my cards and be like, oh yeah, I'll have all of this stuff, but you won't. Some amount of the time you'll have this and not the other stuff. You can still play it and just like jam a spell or two, gain a little bit of life. It's like if we can get it into play against the aggressive decks, it can buy us some time, but it's not particularly impressive. Maybe this should probably be Fact or Fiction most of the time. Or even Enlightened Tutor. We can play 1 planes. Okay, opponent not doing anything. Which is pretty good because shields were down this turn. Yeah, and drawing lands at this point. Now I just want to hold up Mana Drain. If we counter basically anything, we get to play our 2 4-mana colorless spells, or just like cast Karn and hold up Venser after that. And because of that power, I know I was talking about like I'd rather cast Karn than hold up Venser. Because we have that option on the table, sure, Thespian Sage Copy and Breeding Pool, not a problem. We can just hit lands until we can jam Karn and have Mana Drain up. That's a lot less to ask for than jam Karn and have Venser up. We're only 1 land away from that, and we have multiple draws. And since we're both doing a lot of nothing here. Okay, at this point... Okay, there's nothing I can draw that will require me to... that will get me the 6th mana. So we might as well just pay 1 here. We don't need... Like, there's nothing I can draw off of this that's really going to change. Alright, so what do we have over here? Green Sun Zenith, Rex Sage, Force of Vigor, High Tide. Wow, they have a lot of stuff to point at us. We're going to play this Mishra's Bubble and ask them if they want to come after it. If they don't, it'll sit here for the possibility of Mox Opal, and if they do, we can just crack it in response. That's a lot of hateful things in their hand. I wonder. Wait, maybe they drew the Green Sun Zenith after we put Mana Drain in our hand, and that's why they haven't cast it. That would make a lot of sense to me. But or maybe like Rex Sage is just the creature they have to get. I'm okay with this holding pattern because now we can, if we draw land, sweet. We can. Okay, we know the 4 cards in their hand. Cool. We have perfect information. We can go cast Karn. And I think I actually want to make a Karnstruct. If they want to Force of Vigor... I'm going to do that post-combat, though. I don't want to Mana Drain into... Actually, if they Force of Vigor, I think I'm okay with. Mana Drain gives you the mana on your next end step, or on your next main phase. And if that next main phase is your second main phase, you just get it then. And I don't necessarily want to cast anything then. If they Force of Vigor my 2 artifacts, I think I'm just going to bobble them in response. Let it happen. I don't really care about this Construct token. Like, we're getting a card out of this token, basically. The top card is Time Spiral. Wow, okay. That's a good one. Yeah, like, that basically 4 mana kill my 1/1 is what that did. Triplicate Titan. Oh, that's something to cast off of this Mana Drain if they jam something into it. I don't imagine they're going to cast this Time Spiral. Okay, we know Force of Vigor is gone. 3, 4, 5. Are you jamming Time Spiral? No way. Or is this just a big Green Sun to bait the Mana Drain? This looks like Green Sun Zenith. And they know too, like, if they High Tide into the Time Spiral, I will just Mana Drain the Time Spiral. Maybe we let the Green Sun Zenith happen? Oh, actually, what we can do is they don't know about the Venser. If we counter something here, we can hold up Venser for the Time Spiral, and that should should stop their turn, which gets rid of the High Tide, and that's the bigger problem with the Time Spiral. And then we'll get a new hand, you know. Cast nothing. Okay. Nothing go is fine with me. Land is alright. Do we start getting cards with Karn? This Time Spiral is probably going to happen to us. I don't think we are going to end up preventing it. On the other hand, so my thought is, on the one hand, getting cards with Karn is not that big a deal if we're just going to get a new 7. On the other hand, he holds them in exile, the other one's in exile. But if we make a Karnstruct token, that'll incentivize them casting Reclamation Sage, which, as of right now, was just sitting in their hand, being kind of worthless. I think that's okay, though. I think we'll make a Karnstruct token, cast this Mox Opal, which might incentivize... Oh, I should have played this Aetherflux Reservoir first. Now we also have Venser up instead of Mana Drain if we want it. If they High Tide, we have both up. Yeah, I could have just had 2 more life here. Yeah, this Aetherflux Reservoir is looking pretty embarrassing. I will admit that I wasn't thinking enough about it. I was just like, yeah, it's great with Mystic Forge. That's true. What if we don't have the Mystic Forge? All right. Is this a Reclamation Sage? Because that is fine and happens. Next turn, we're going to start plussing with Karn. All right, Reclamation Sage is fine. They might blow up the reservoir here, which I didn't think about, and I'm pretty okay with that, honestly. Nope, they're blowing up the Construct. Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually pretty tempted. Actually, yeah, I think I will. So what I'm gonna do? Oh, I didn't float mana. All right, never mind. I forgot that that was my third artifact for the Mox Opal. I could have floated a mana and then bounced their Shelldock Isle with my Venser, which would have been pretty good. We still have Cauldron Complete to go get with Tinker, and I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by casting it, sacrificing. Yeah, I guess this Mox Opal. It's not really doing anything. There, I wish we had something better to get, but Triplicate Titans in our hand, and don't really. Oh, I guess I can get Mystic Forge. I don't hate getting Mystic Forge. Yeah, I actually like that better. Okay, well we have another land after that. Okay, plus card. We're probably gonna get that land into our hand, and then they exiled. Oh, they exiled land as well. Okay. Well, I guess there were two lands on top. Let's go play Hangerback Walker for one. Another land. It's a lot of lands. Okay. And we can pass. If they want to attack, I'll block Rexage with Spellseeker. We can start getting this Hangerback Walker ticking. We know the Rexage is gone. So we have 3 of the 5 cards. We have 2 unknowns over there. They've been trying to play around this mana drain. I think they just needed to jam something into it. Channel was scary, but fine. They might, like, if their other card is Ulamog, that's pretty strong. They exile Karn plus. Oh, sorry, there's Ponder under the Karn. I thought it would go to my actual exile zone, but it doesn't for some reason. Yeah, that's my exile zone. Looks like they have. Looks like they might be Ulamogging. That's a good 2 cards to have there. I mean, they know that gets mana drained. 13, 14. What are they doing? What is happening here? 15 in the pool. They're just going to 1. Okay. They're undoing it, gaining a bunch. Oh my god, these sounds. All right, let me mess with the volume. Okay. Make up your mind, friend. All right, what do we got here? Emrakul, the Eon's Torn. Well, that is a spell. Yeah, that one's gonna get mana drained. Yep, that's gonna happen there. We're almost certainly not spending all that mana next turn. Let me tell you. I guess with Mystic Forge we could spend it. With Mystic Forge going. So they still have 2 mana they can make off of Channel, which doesn't cast this Time Spiral. Oh, it can't be countered. That's right. I forgot. It can't be countered. I'm stupid. That spell can't be. That spell can't be countered. And we are 1 mana short from casting it, from venturing it back to their hands, where everything would have worked. We can get rid of this Aetherflux Reservoir, and we're gonna put in Lighten Tutor. No, I'm gonna put in Fact or Fiction, I think. Maybe we weren't dead to Emrakul because they were at very low life total. I don't know. It seemed pretty bad. Oh, I should have checked if Mana Drain gives me the mana anyway. Oh, I could have just had the 15 mana anyway, and I make maybe that game wasn't over. I was just embarrassed for like how stupid that was. Yeah, the sand seems great. We need land 3, but then we can Mox Opal into Triplicate Titan, and that probably gets them dead. Wow, they must have drawn Channel into Emrakul. They didn't do any fixing, or the other way around. They didn't do any like card selection during that time. That was a good series of draws for them. And we didn't see Emrakul when we saw all but 4 cards. Well, I guess they saw all but 4 cards in their deck. Okay, well, Talisman is mana number 3. I think I'd rather sack the Opal. Hopefully they don't have a way of interacting with this. We know they have Force of Vigor. Okay. Yeah, this is why Fastball's pretty underwhelming. Like, okay, whatever. Now I know they have Time Spiral and they have and Sail into the West, so like it does get a lot better. But like it's pretty underwhelming here. Let's tinker. This one's almost certainly getting Triplicate Titan. Now, if this Force of Will, that's pretty good because if that doesn't work, we're a little bit behind here. If we draw Island, which I would like to, we can Spellseeker for Mana Drain. Sure. Or we can just draw a Mana Drain. Okay, we'll just pass. We can pass. It'll look a little bit, I think, like we were all in on the Tinker and we just don't have anything. Okay, blue in the pool. Have up to 6 mana if they don't play a land. 7 mana available. I would love for them to jam like Time Spiral or something. We can Mana Drain that into Ugin. High Tide. Okay, well we could have cast a Spellseeker. High Tide is symmetrical, in case you're not aware. Or unfamiliar. It's all islands tap for double blue. Ulamog. Well, that's annoying, but weirdly, it's beatable. We'll just float all of it, and then we'll get that. And then we're down to 1 land and our Talisman. But we're gonna play Ugin. They're on no cards. Yeah, I think we actually have this pretty well sewn up. We'll actually get to jam both of our Planeswalkers, I think. Right? Because that's 10 mana, 14? Or 12 mana? No, not quite. We can go make a blue. Still have 8 mana for Ugin. We'll have 9 mana even. Sure. We'll go get Mishra's Bauble, I guess. We can get Everflowing Chalice. We have 9 mana, so if we spend 2 into it, we'll still have 8 to cast Ugin, which gives us a little bit more to work with. I guess that's fine. I was going to get Mishra's Bauble to get a redraw, but I guess Everflowing Chalice is probably better. We could cast this for, like, a lot. We can cast this for 4 and then cast Karn instead. And then we'll have 6 mana on the subsequent turn. We'll be pretty close to Ugin. I think I'd just rather cast Ugin. It's kind of tough. Yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of options here, and I'm not 100% that this is the best thing to be doing, but I think it is. Go upstairs with that. Like, because Ugin also ends a game really quick. And even if we go ++ ult, right, that gives them 2 draw steps to find an answer. Now if we draw a land, we can cast Karn as opposed to like drawing a land can cast Ugin. I think that's probably better. Let's go upstairs again. They played out their land, so we know they're on nothing. They're even on a 2-turn clock just to attack you with this thing. Let's Spellseeker probably for Gitaxian Probe, just to hope to find a land we didn't. I should have targeted myself with the Gitaxian Probe just to let them know. Look at my own hand, because they have no cards. We know we know they're on nothing. Yeah, we probably ult here. Or like putting 7 permanents into play has to be better than the 2-turn clock. Probably it puts them on. There's dead on the same turn, but there's a lot more stuff for them to deal with, as opposed to kind of needing Ugin to work out. Hey, we're on 11:11 time left. They found a spell. If this is time spiral, they can do some stuff. Nope, it's a Mind's Desire, just au naturel. No other spells. No storm. Yep. -10. Put in 7 permanents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Always yield. We can discard. You can discard Island at this point, weirdly. We can exile top card. Okay, sure. We're not casting anything anyway. Just hold up Cryptic Command. They're dead next turn. They have a lot of stuff to deal with. I don't think there's an out here, especially through a counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana available, so they can't cast Ugin. Or sorry, they can't cast Ulamog or Emrakul. Maybe we should have pondered instead of exile on top card. Just it's even on blue mana. Okay, we're gonna take out this Aether Flux Reservoir. It's pretty bad. We'll just put in Fact or Fiction. It's fine. Maybe we'd be better with just like another top end thing. Well, you know, we'll add a Worm Coil just as like some insulation, like it's some life gain. It's something more medium we can cast as opposed to our Tinker Tyrants being 7 and 9 mana. Now we have like, okay, we're probably not going to tinker into this. If we do, like if we have to, sure, it's fine. It's like the backup target, but if we draw it, 6 mana is a lot more doable. We saw in game 1 that 6 mana we could find. Like we found 7 mana pretty quickly after. It was just the next turn or whatever. But you know, there wasn't much of an issue with getting to 6 mana. Getting to 7, it's like, oh, do we draw a land this turn? Ulting with Ugin's fun. Just, here's a million cards. Here's a million permanent. Like draw 7 is already sweet, but also all the mana cheating of putting 7 permanents into play. You're just like, all right, here's slant. Put the top. Not exactly put the top 700 cards of your library into play, but it's pretty close. Okay, we're making this work. We'll play first. Making this work, even though I don't think this deck is exactly right. Okay, we can keep this hand. We'll Mesa for Volcanic Island. Red does something, white doesn't. Also, I want to cast this Retrofitter Foundry, and I don't want to, like, there's no real reason to pay 2 life to do that. Next turn, we can either Retrofitter or Hangerback. I think I'd rather Hangerback and get that going. We could use another land here. I will say that much. But now, if we do find a land, well, we're probably still gonna Trinket Mage for. Well, we'll Trinket Mage for Mox Opal, and then that will fuel. We can get the Hangerback ticking. And if the Hangerback ever dies, this Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, we didn't draw land, which means. Do we make a servo? We probably just tick up the Hangerback Walker. It's pretty unfortunate. Land number 3. We had 3 shots at it. or I guess 2 shots at it, and didn't didn't quite work out. We did need it though. It's, yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Obviously don't love missing lands. Our hand was really good. Oh, Elvish Reclaimer strategy. That could be very strong. Oh, we accidentally clicked through our end step. I'm so bad. Again, I'm just not used to Moto. I was like, all right, just click 2, and then that'll go. Wait, do we not have a stop on their end step? No, we do have a stop on their end step. Yeah, we just goofed. Just accidentally pressed 2 instead of activating Hanger Backwalker. That's very bad. On top of having on stumbling on mana, I'm just misplaying. All right, we'll tighten up. We're gonna not do that. We're gonna try to not do that anymore. This is the risk of using the hotkeys, is you might accidentally just get used to it. Just hit the button, hit the button, hit the button. Boseiju, a card that is good against us, but I understand why they're not using it to kill something. I think we'd rather have a land than either of our current artifacts. All right, Ponder's good. 3 lands. Oh, great. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. How often do you ponder, see 3 lands, and go, great? Because that's just what just happened. All right. We need our opponent to do nothing for a little bit longer. They haven't been doing very much, which is nice. If they just don't do much, then we have a shot here. This might get Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead, a card that is going to be very difficult for us. I guess Ugin sweeps up the tokens. It's Strip Mine? Okay, well, Strip Mine's annoying. Oh, this is getting Crucible of Worlds. Oh, that's disgusting. Yep, we're going to just get Strip Crucibled into Oblivion, yeah. And if we had the mana, like if we had been hitting our lands, we could counter this Crucible of Worlds. As it stands, we might have to end step Venserate and then counter it on the way back down. But will we have 4 mana? Next turn we'll have 3. Go get. Okay, we might. This might be okay. We'll try to battle through this, but it's gonna be tough. Yeah. Yep. That's fine. Thankfully, red isn't actually that important. Oh no, they're double strip mining us this turn. Never mind. I forgot. They already had the strip mine in play. It's so stupid. That game brought to you by Mana Screw. I don't think there's anything we have to deal with that. Yeah, we'll just run it back. Yeah. We just missed a couple of lands and that was it. Yeah, stands fine. Do we play the Hanger Backwalker or the Talisman first? That is the question. I think the Hanger Backwalker. Well, they have Strip Mine Crucible. That is pretty good. We're going to try to remember our Hanger Backwalker this time. Didn't matter last game at all, but... Alright, well... Now we can go land, Talisman, pass, start taking up this Hanger back. I don't really know where the math is about like when you should stop taking it up and when you should start attacking. Maybe it's at like 4 counters or something. March of Otherworldly Light. Okay, well that exiles it if I'm not mistaken. Yep, okay, that's annoying. Our opponent's deck lining up very well against what we're doing. We could just Venser Ketria Triome. Now, on the one hand... Oh, okay, never mind. We're going to cast Mystic Forge. I was going to say, on the one hand, they can cycle it later, but on the other hand, it comes into play tap, so if they have to play it, that sucks. Is this really... Okay, Reprieve is fine. Play lands. It's annoying, but it's fine. Yeah, our opponent's deck is good. We might lose this one. I would hope not to, obviously. Huntmaster of the Fells. Okay. Strong card, but a beatable one. Tolarian Academy. I don't hate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play this Mystic Forge. Tinker's a good card. We're going to keep that on top. We have 3 mana, unfortunately, not 4. Okay. Well, we'll just pass. We cast a spell, so this doesn't flip. We'll take 4. If they cast a spell, we'll take another 2. Then we'll untap and tinker into Triplicate Titan and see if that's good enough. Maybe we shouldn't have ran the Academy out here. Now I can get like Strip Mine or whatever. That was probably a mistake. But they didn't Strip Mine it. Maybe they'll Sage it or something. Red, green, white. Touch the Spirit Realm. They're going to get the Mystic Forge. That ends up being okay. If we need to, we can Venser it. We have Tinker, so we're just going to Tinker next turn anyway. Triplicate Titan's probably still the best thing to get. It does feel a little weird for it to be the best thing to get. And then... So we have 5, 6, 7 mana, which means we can keep up Venser on top of that. That's cool. Actually, we're not going to have more artifacts in play, so we might as well just tap the... I guess we might get another artifact in play if they destroy the Triplicate Titan, but we don't have anything to spend them in on anyway. So we might as well, like, if they want to come after the Tolarian Academy, it is our best land. They're not going to take us off Venser for the turn. We might end-step Venser the Mystic Forge. We might Venser whatever this spell is. Yep, we're going to Venser what that spell is. That's so bad for us. Jeez. That's just a stay of execution. That doesn't even like prevent it from happening. And it's exile so that we don't get the 3 tokens and then they get this 9/9. Jeez, our opponent's deck is good against us. And just good. But everything lines up so well. Like, touch the Spirit Realm, can't hit anything. It's only artifact or creature, so it hits that thing. But if we had a Planeswalker, it doesn't hit that, you know. Mana Drain. Mana Drain is good. We're going to attack for 9, and they're probably just going to... And we're just going to let them flip their... Huntmaster. We can't cast any spells anyway. Flying, Vigilance, Trample. Vigilance is pretty good. Alright. Then they're going to tap out for the... Well, maybe not exactly tap out. Yeah, they get to flip the Huntmaster, unfortunately. It kills my Venser. I take 2. I don't really want to flip it back. So, if we draw a spell next turn, we might not do that. We might not cast it anyway. Then we... Lucked into drawing Mana Drain. We had a few answers. We also had like Cryptic Command. But we'll Mana Drain that. And that might actually get a concession. That might be it. Enough. This Triplicate Titan could go coast to coast, but we also have Cauldron Complete. Crop Rotation. What does this get? Can't imagine what this gets. That... Maybe Mazavith? That'd be annoying. We're going to have 5 mana. 2 more casts the Cauldron Complete, which leaves us with 5 left over. So I'd love to draw something like Cryptic Command. They might just be seeing if they have an answer. They might not. This Crop Rotation might not get anything that solves this problem for them. Our opponent's deck is good. Very strong. They have a lot of cool stuff going on. I wouldn't mind playing something like what they're playing. Looks like it'd be fun. Hard to draft though. Definitely hard to draft. Like you gotta prioritize getting these. You have to prioritize these number of lands, but also like the important spells. And they do have a lot of them. Like Fractured Identity is really strong. Reprieve you can get like decently late, but like that's probably like March of Otherworld like is fine, so it's probably not hard to get. That's also why like Ravagers is Ravager of the Fells, or I guess Huntmaster of the Fells, is hanging out here. It's an okay card, and I'm sure they'd be happier with other stuff. I guess it gets the game over decently. I don't know. I just don't like this card very much. But it's probably in here in part because they have to prioritize lands so much. But they have Strip Mine Crucible. It's pretty good. Bazaar Baghdad. It's surprising that it's in your deck. But okay. We're going digging. Alright. What do you have in there? For those of you who don't know, tap. It does not. This land doesn't tap for mana. Tap. Draw 2 cards. Discard 3 cards. Now this is the backbone of Legacy Dredge and Vintage Dredge, or maybe not not Legacy Dredge, Abandoned Legacy, Vintage Dredge. But like, if you're not using your graveyard exceptionally well, this is like it's immense card disadvantage. Okay, so we're gonna attack for what would be lethal. Oh, they cast 2 spells, so they flip Huntmaster. Okay, that's good for them. Okay, given that that's the case, we're going to. So let's see, we have 5, 10, and this is probably gonna be 2 mana. So if we cast this for 5, 6, 7, yeah, that's enough. And now, just in case we draw Ugin, we can cast it. And we're still casting Culture Complete. And now, I mean, this is it. We're all in on this. If our opponent has more, can deal with this, they probably have it. This is also not lethal anymore because they gained 2 life from the Huntmaster, so they can go to 1 here, which they did. But now 2 lethal attackers, both have trample, 1 flies. This might be like we might see tap Bazaar concede. We saw Sun Titan, so that's one thing that makes Bazaar better, but this card is not a winner. Yeah, like I said, tap Bazaar concede. Tough game, tough game. Now we have to win one on the draw. Our opponent's deck is very good. Wow. Do we want Savine's Reclamation? It's decent against what they're doing. Just requires white mana. We could put in the Enlightened Tutor, but I don't think Enlightened Tutor is where we want to be because there's just not. It's not really worth tutoring for any of our artifacts. I don't think we want any of this stuff. Blightsteel. Now, knowing that they have Fractured Identity, our Tinker targets. Ooh, our Tinker targets get a lot more difficult. I don't think we can cast Ulamog most of the time, unless we get a sweet mana drain. But we have enough other stuff. Yeah, I guess we're just running it back. It's scary though. Our opponent has a lot of cards that are very good against us. Sure. Probably gonna crack our own Mesa immediately. We don't care about red or white mana, but I don't want to draw both of our other spells, both of our other lands, before we use it. That said, we could just use it next turn, but oh, that's a good start from them. Yeah. Okay, so crack this, get our Volcanic Island, cast Retrofitter Foundry. And again, it's that situation of like, well, I want to cast Retrofitter Foundry, so might as well not take 2 damage. I mean, we can just play our island, but... Okay, they're planning on activating the Reclaimer. They might be getting... If they get Strip Mine, they can't double Strip Mine us next turn. So I think I want to just get this... Get some of our mana underneath us with Everflowing Chalice. It is scary because what they're representing is very strong. Okay, are you getting Strip Mine? They are getting Strip Mine. They might just have Crucible. If they just jam Crucible this turn... okay, I don't care about them taking me off a red. If they're doing that just because they like think red is super important for me, then I'm really happy with what just happened. Life from the Loam. Jesus, that's bad. Okay. Oh, we might be dead. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we're pretty dead here. We have 3 mana. And we can Spellseeker. Okay. Spellseeker. Problem is, like, they don't need to cast anything that matters. I guess that they need to cast another Life from the Loam for it to be a real problem. Let's take Gitaxian Probe. See what they're up to. Maybe the plan is, okay, so they'll Strip Mine us here. If they go for another Loam, we can mana drain that. Then, like, if they try to Loam again, we can Cryptic that, and, like, hopefully we can bridge that to enough stuff. We'll see if they Dredge Loam with Uro. I don't know how likely that is. They have a lot of lands, so maybe they do. Let's put in the Strip Mine. Sure, they Strip Mine us. Okay, they did not Dredge Loam. They might work towards Uro. not blocking. Just take one. No, this is really rough. Obviously, we need to keep Crucible of Worlds off the table at all costs. Now we're drawing a bunch of lands, which is nice. It means we can offset the strip mining that's been happening. We should have attacked for one. I just clicked through it. Balancing too many other things in my mind, like clicking through absentmindedly on. If this is Crucible, we're okay. So here's a loam. We drain this. So now next turn we can Cryptic or Venser it, depending on what their mana situation is. We saw the strip mine. Okay, there's a Ketria Triumph. So they have double green. Okay. We haven't seen. Okay, we know their arrow's gone. Okay. So now we also have 2 in the pool. Another land isn't exactly what I wanted. So now I have 3, 4. We can just activate this Retrofitter Foundry. Gross. Now, if they Dredge Loam again, we can Cryptic and maybe like bounce the Reclaimer. Maybe even bounce Ketria Triumph. No, they have so much green mana. They can double cast it, so like a Venser isn't going to keep them off of it. Did they Dredge Loam? Yeah, they Dredged Loam. So now we go counter target spell. We just draw a card? I think we just draw a card. So we're treading water here a little bit, but the dredges are going to add up for their library, which means the Uro will come out, sadly. But we can Venser Uro. That part's a little easier. And hopefully we'll just get enough lands into play where strip mining us isn't that big a deal. Because they can still only strip mine us once a turn. That said, the 3 lands hanging at my hand on top of all the ones in my graveyard, it's like, oh, okay, we don't have... Okay, I'd like to draw non-lands. Ugin is fine. So now the loam is going to work. But now they only strip mine us once. And, like, they can't just mill 3 and strip mine us for the rest of the game. We'll still have 4 to 5 mana with which we can operate. That was the Arid Mesa, right? Yeah. Like, oh, we know about the... Okay, we saw the Inspiring Vantage. So we only know about Taiga, Sun Titan. They did not Dredge Loam. That's really interesting. So they might have something else to do with the mana. They might be just escaping Uro. Nope, 6 mana. So that's the Sun Titans. And we go... Which also gets back... life... the Strip Mine, by the way. This is not a permanent solution, but I'm trying to, like, make it take long enough for them to start strip mining me, where it becomes so unimpactful that it doesn't matter if they do it. Okay, so now we can go cast Karn. And I think we want to start making constructs. I want to play to the board a bit. I want to like make all this like vying for whether you can attack my lands cost them, because next turn, because we can make a Retrofitter token this turn, we can make a servo, then make another construct, and then with the second servo on our untap, these are 7/7s, which puts a lot of pressure, and even through a Sun Titan, which is a 6/6, so they can Sun Titan here. Sure, Sun Titan's fine, and I don't care if you get back Strip Mine. You can get back Uro, which is pretty good actually. I might get back Uro at this point. They're getting Crucible of Worlds. Oh, well, that I didn't see that land in there. Sure, should probably have their graveyard just open. Okay, Fast Bond. Oh, well, that's okay. Sure. This is potentially beatable, but it's gonna be real rough. We don't... Now they can strip mine us off of everything. But it's gonna cost them a bunch of life, and we are gonna start coming for their life total pretty soon. Photo blue. We have this ever-flowing chalice. I'm just gonna actually. We have this ever-flowing chalice, which does give us a little bit of mana. It's gonna cost them 3 more life to come after the rest of our lands. We have 1 in hand, so we can use that. We can use that at some point to like make a servo or something. At this point, we can have 6. So this is annoying, but weirdly I think we can beat it. Like, okay, we don't have mana anymore, but we're gonna have very large constructs. The question is, like, I can feed this land into the strip mine shenanigans to make a servo next turn. The downside, of course, is that we're sacrificing this land. The upside is that now our constructs are 7/7s, which attack through the Sun Titan, as opposed to just trading, especially having drawn another land. Yeah, that's fine. Make a construct. Now, we're not necessarily winning here. This is going to be rough, but their life total is an issue. I'm surprised they didn't strip mine me already. Yeah, make a servo. This is all on board. Do they have something? If they have something, we might be screwed. That's annoying, I guess. I'm gonna get the Hallowed Fountain out of my deck. I don't need the mana, but it does cost them a life. And okay, well now their Sun Titan's dead, but they have Crucible Strip Mine, so we don't get a lot of mana for the rest of the game. We do have 1 Thopter. We can turn it into a 4/4 with the Retrofitter. We beat it, like, we can't beat very much in the way of spells anymore. Like, already the Boseiju was rough. They can double strip mine us. I guess. Sure. They can double strip mine us, which sucks, but like playing a land for the turn gets us a servo. Now a huge amount of stuff that we could flip with Karn just isn't that big a deal. Because it does take 3 turns for Karn to make another token. Yeah, Boseiju. We might... yep, that's it. God, that's annoying. Well, we made a go of it, but, you know, when you don't get to play the game, I guess. Alright, last game of the league. Will we end with a positive record? I didn't expect a trophy out of this, but that last match was pretty rough. Life from the Loam, jeez. We made a really good play of it, but also Loam milling the Crucible of Worlds when they had the Sun Titan didn't help. Like, if that Crucible was just on the bottom 10 cards of the deck, maybe we had a shot there. The Boseiju, also, if they didn't have it, that would have been rough for them. Hey, they couldn't draw, like, Huntmaster instead of, like, Boseiju. That's fine. It's fine. All right, I'm just molding. It's fine. Last match. Hopefully we find it rather quickly and finish this out. I'll try, probably... we'll finish streaming after that, and I might try to find my Commander League match, or my Commander Masters match after that. I don't have high hopes for that. I'll let you know if I get that game, how it goes. I assume it's just 1 game. All right, 1 the die roll. Would I like to play first? Yes, absolutely, I would. This hand's great. We'll hold on to the volcanic island. It doesn't really matter until we want to unearth Scrapwork Mutt. So I might as well just leave it in my hand, make sure we don't get wastelanded. I didn't care when my opponent strip mined it because, like, we didn't need the red. It was more when they were strip mining everything. And I think we're just going to start with the Retrofitter Foundry. We might not even cast a spell next turn. We might just make a servo. Might even make the straight line to another Ketria Triumph strategy. That could mean a lot of things. It doesn't at all mean that they're on the same kind of deck. Do we just make a servo? We might just make a servo. The alternative is casting Ponder. I like just making a servo. And we have little enough to do where we can just like next turn ponder plus servo, next turn leave up Venser, and if we don't need it, servo. It's not particularly efficient as a like 1/1 generator, but you know, you generate enough 1/1s, it's a problem for an opponent. That's the thing about Retrofitter Foundry. It's like none of what it does is particularly efficient, but I get the fact that it does it on a cheap card and yada. That said, I think we Spellseeker this turn. Go get Mana Drain. Attack. Oh, I think I realized why I skipped through the attack the previous time. I'm used to on Arena where you just like it's the same button to go to your attack step as it is to declare all attackers. You can just like click the same place 3 times. All right, so they're gonna know about this Mana Drain, but I mean, obviously they can only play around it so much. Oh, we actually are also down to very few targets. I'm holding the Bauble, by the way, because we have Mox Opal in our deck. I guess at this point, if we find Mox Opal, Retrofitter Foundry plus Servo makes the third one, so maybe we can just run it out there and draw a card. Pest Infestation, destroying the Retrofitter Foundry. Yeah, that's really good. Pest Infestation is a strong card. Well, now I want to hold on to this Mishra's Bauble again. Alright, so we can draw a card. That's actually a pretty good draw. So now we can go play this Talisman, play the Bauble. We can even Bauble our opponent because we have 2 other artifacts. Just turn this in for a card. They have a Breeding Pool on top of their library. Look at the cards. Look at them! Look at them! And we can just pass. And this Ponder just sitting in our hand. That's something that I had to learn a little bit. Even like when I was playing Legacy and like you get how Legacy works. You can just sit on these cantrips. You don't have to fire them off right away. And often it's better to just use your mana on other stuff. Wait until you have a better idea what you're looking for. So there's the Breeding Pool. Okay. Tapped Breeding Pool, and then if they do nothing, I'm okay with. Oh, I guess I'm not okay with trading off the Servo. We'll just take 2. I have a Trinket Mage coming, and which will get Mox Opal. So we'll have 3 artifacts for the Opal, and a 2/2 that blocks these pests. We can just attack past them. At this point, if I Ponder and I don't hit an island, oh, that's still fine because Mox Opal makes a blue. So we can start with Ponder. I do want to find a land here. Metamorph is not bad. Oh, we're gonna redraw. Oh, we're gonna reshuffle so we can get our land. I guess it's a little silly because now we are about to shuffle, so we could have drawn those other 2. But I'm also okay with not drawing those other 2, which means the Ponder was basically just like find your next land. But it's fine. We'll get Mox Opal. Yeah. Cast Mox Opal. It's like kind of a Mox. I mean, it has Mox in the name. It's not exactly Mox, but it's a Mox. Ooh. Petty Theft my token. I should have attacked first because now like mana draining it is a little annoying. Sure, whatever. Mana draining it would be nice too because they don't get the adventure, but this does turn off my Mox. Not that I care that much. I should have attacked first. Yeah, there's no 2 ways about it. I just should have attacked first. There was no reason not to. And I got a little bit punished for it. It's fine. Our deck has a lot of artifacts. We'll find a 3rd one. Wasteland me off of blue. Well, that is annoying. Well, now they might be able to resolve something between Petty Theft me off of triple artifact and Wasteland me off my 1 non-basic. They could resolve a spell here. All right, what do you got? Oko. Well, yeah, that's a card I would have liked to counter. Jeez. And they can elf their pests. Jesus. Oh, they're just going to make a food? Okay, that's a little surprising. We might Venser into Mana Drain that. I need to draw... Not that. A land is what I was going to say. If they elk their food, we'll just end step Venser. Yeah, we'll just pass. Oko, a card that would have been insane in our deck and a reason to be green. By the way, these are artifact tokens. I've done that in a Vintage Cube before. Obviously, we're not going to get past Oko. That card's insane, but we could have seen it. We just didn't. Okay. 5 mana at their disposal here. I don't imagine they're going to cast anything of import into the mana drain. We'll take 3 from the food token. I don't care. I think they should have been elking their pests. I guess I can double block and trade for it. Yeah, we're going to have Venser. We're going to have Venser to block the pests on subsequent turns. Might as well get the 3/3 out of play. We could also just we could have also taken the 3 and then gone cryptic command, and oh, we can't double bounce. Never mind. I can't bounce both tokens. So you have to choose different things. So yeah. Okay. End step. Cast Venser. Our opponent is thinking. Yeah, I figured just jam Brazen Borrower. That's fine. I don't care about that. Bounce Oko. Everflowing Chalice. I like that. Do we cast it? No, just for... Well, we could cast it for 2, and we still have Mox Opal to cast the Mana Drain, but as we saw last time, if they blow up an artifact, that'd be bad. We only really need to cast it for 1. Now we still have Mana Drain. We have Cryptic up instead if we prefer. We're just gonna take 3 from the Brazen Borrower for a little bit. At some point, we'll be able to cast this Wormcoil. See, this is why it's better than something like Blightsteel Colossus in a case like this. If they run something into the Mana Drain, thinking like, oh, okay, the Mana Drain's gone, we might get them to like try Oko again or something. Yeah, Hangerback Walker is fine. We could do something like bounce a thing, draw with Cryptic, just to spend our mana, but I think we'll just untap. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we draw a land, we can cast Wormcoil and keep up Mana Drain. Talisman isn't quite that, but we can cast this Talisman. That gives us more insulation for this Mox Opal. Okay, a little annoying that we're not doing very much and we're wasting a lot of mana by keeping up our counter magic. That said, we have both Cryptic and Mana Drain up right now because we have 5 mana thanks to both of these mana rocks. You can attack, yeah, attack in the air. They're playing around the Mana Drain very well, but soon we can start playing to the board ourselves while keeping up Mana Drain. Emry, Lurker of the Loch. I don't much care about Emry, but I do want them to think that their Oko is safe. So I think I am going to Mana Drain it. It also lets us cast our Wormcoil. This makes it look like we're being a little fast and loose with our Mana Drain. Or maybe we're just like, okay, fine, you're not going to run something relevant into it. But of course we have our Cryptic Command. This also helps us cast this Wormcoil next turn. If they don't jam something, we can keep up Cryptic Command. Yeah, there we go. See. Counter target spell, draw a card. We can bounce the Hangerback Walker, but I think I'd rather just draw a card. Yeah, so now we dealt with the Oko. Like, they were playing around the Mana Drain very well, but obviously they didn't know about the Cryptic. So we, in a sense, baited them. Well, drawing land off of that is not exactly where I wanted to be. 4, 5, 6 mana. Here's a Wormcoil Engine. Obviously, we're not attacking. We can play this tapped, and then we can pass the turn. It's an extra bad draw, the Hollowed Fountain, because it's one less thing for our Arid Mesa. So if we draw Volcanic Island, then Arid Mesa, the Arid Mesa won't do anything. Yeah, grow the Hangerback Walker, kind of what I expected. We're going to act like we have stuff here, even though we don't. Our opponent still has 3 cards. Hopefully this Wormcoil is good for something. Okay, well, they have a lot of lands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Urza, Lord High Artificer. That is a strong card. Makes this Hangerback Walker even more. So, like, I can attack, they'll block with the Hangerback Walker, and it turns into 3 Thopters, which Urza can go nuts with. It's pretty rough. If I draw Triplicate Titan, can I cast it? They might be just spinning Urza here. No, casting Karn, Scion of Urza. Yeah, Urza, another sweet artifact card that we could have seen that we didn't. Make another Karnstruct. Yeah, that seems good. I don't think this Wurmcoil is going to be enough here. Again, if I draw Triplicate Titan, can I cast it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, I can. And if I draw it, I will. I will, in fact, cast it. Tinker wouldn't be bad. Just the Mystic Forge directly, which is what I would Tinker for, would also be pretty great. What are you waiting for? You have a stop on my upkeep, but for what? It might have just been like a layover from other stuff, but I don't see what you would be doing here. They might have not realized it's there and think they're waiting for me. This happens sometimes. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Ugin is pretty interesting. It can kill Karn directly. I can cast it, which is nice. I can kill Karn. Can they crack back and kill it? Let's see. He'll have 9 counters. We can block a Karnstruct if we need to, but those things are gonna be huge. I could also -4 sweep up Urza plus this Brazen Borrower. The Ugin also kills these pest tokens if I minus. It might be worthwhile just to kill Karn. I might not. Maybe I just don't even attack. Maybe I just play Ugin, kill Karn. We'll have these 2 3/3s, 3 3/3s. I can block 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can block something. 7, 8. I think he lives. Okay, I think we just don't attack. I think that's the answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess play my land. Oh, I shouldn't have played the land because like now it lets me look like I have something, but they know I don't because I have no cards in my hand. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. We can also just like -0 to sweep up the pests, but that seems much worse than killing Karn. Let's kill that. And I think we don't attack. They don't have great attacks through Wurmcoil. The big thing is also if I attack, it turns this Hangerback Walker into 3 Thopters. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these things are 6 6s. And I can only block one of them. Like, yeah, there's just no way I'm keeping Ugin alive. Like, I could grow their board so substantially. Now, obviously, they're uncontested in the air, but I can next turn bolt the Brazen Borrower. Attacking through Wurmcoil on the ground is a harrowing enterprise. No, they have more spells, which is pretty bad. I shouldn't have played my land, but I don't think it matters very much. Frost Titan. Well, I didn't know it was in the cube, but okay. Yeah, it's a good thing for you to have access to right now. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Does that kill my Ugin? I don't know. It's very close. If I can keep him alive with 6 counters, I will 100% -6 next turn. Okay, they're just sending everything. Oh, at me. Okay. So I block here. I'm taking 3, 6, 9. Yep, dead. Cool. Nice draw. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Blightsteel, I don't think is good. Sundering Titan, I actually like. I like Sundering Titan over Wurmcoil Engine against them. While the Wurmcoil is cool for the life, the big thing was actually Hangerback Walker is pretty bad. I don't do anything with it. They're on enough colors where Sundering Titan will blow up a lot of their lands. Makes me kind of want to just like cut Arid Mesa, Hollowed Fountain, put in Even just a mountain for the scrap. No, because we have this. We'll just... Okay, we're going to cut these two. We're going to add 2 basic islands. I have 2 talismans, opal, and volcanic island for the scrap workbench. It's probably where my deck should have been in the first place. Okay, we'll try this. Whew. Oko, what a card. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I think it was right to trade for the token. God, Frost Titan. That's a rough one. Yeah, ultimately, I think a lot of the problems we're having here come back to the draft portion. Maybe I should have been on a different deck. I don't know. It seemed like there was good stuff going on for that. I mean, I had Tinker, but yeah, I don't know. Phyrexian Metamorph would have been cool that game. Copy their Urza. I think we can do a lot with their Urza. Alright, just waiting for them to submit their deck post sideboard, and then we'll get to game 2. Almost done with this draft. We didn't end up with any power this draft, but this Mox Opal has been doing a pretty good Mox impression. A good power impression of power. We have enough artifacts where we've very rarely been taking off of the Metalcraft. We did that game. Yeah, I'll play first. That seems like a good idea. No, we can't. This hand doesn't. Oh my god, it's so much. It's so bad. I'm not going to 5. Whatever. We have a turn 3. We have a turn 3 Venser. Okay. All right. This might be over. Yeah. This draft might be over soon. Some running bad hands. Did our opponent show game log? Our opponent is also on 6. Well, that's helpful at least. Go. Is it yield through this turn? Oh, it's yield through this turn. That does the thing. Okay. This used to be different. These used to be different. Black Lotus. Okay, we might be done. Okay. One of the things I say is a problem with Vintage Cube is that some number of people are playing Legacy Cube, and we're basically those people. We didn't find any power. Our opponent went turn 1 Black Lotus, Planeswalker. They have Urza Saga. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, alright. Yeah, it's hard not to tilt at that, I'll be honest. Yeah, sure. They can make more constructs with this Saga. Okay, yeah, we're drawing Sundering Titan. Cool. Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, neat. Alright. Hopefully they go to combat before playing their land or something. I don't know. Cast Consider. Sure, yeah, whatever. Put an island in their graveyard. Alright. Oh, I guess you can press 6 to cancel your yield through the unstep. Yeah, alright, sure. If they, for whatever reason, don't play a land before combat, gross. I'll give them the Pest Infestation, actually. The thought being, if they play... Oh, it's what you ex... Oh, no, yeah, I choose the one to put in their hand. If they try to Pest Infestation me, then... yeah, alright. Okay, so what I wanted to do was Venser, bounce a token, and then block the other one as a 1/1. The problem is they can make another token right now. So, if they can make it a 2/2, are they gonna make a construct now? Well, I did not expect Volcanic Island to be the thing they got. No, I'm just gonna not block. If they want to make the construct, they can. It does risk that if I have a bounce spell, I can kill their Karn, which is... Well, I'm going to attack their Karn irrespective. So they'll get an extra damage here by making the construct right now, but if I draw, like, Cryptic Command, I didn't. That could have been a problem for them. Probably getting Retrofitter here. Yep, seems fine. Now, if they block, their things are 2/2s. Which, yeah, they're just gonna trade for my board and still have constructs. And yeah, this game's brought to you by Black Lotus. Yeah, yeah, sure, whatever, you got it. So now they can tick up Karn, which they probably will. You can have a mountain. If I can get Karn dead and leave these cards stranded in exile, that would be neat. It's pretty unlikely. I don't even know if they attack here. They do? Okay. If I draw a Cryptic Command, we can punish this. Or, you know, Island, or Volcanic Island, you know, whatever. You just draw another land. So that's 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can't activate, we can't cast this next turn anyway. Let's go ahead and attack Karn. It's basically free for them to trade with this token because they get to replace it. If this connects with Karn, it eats the token he'll make next turn, as opposed to, yeah, I guess it's the same thing. But now they get to activate his plus instead. I have 6 mana, which is, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can make a 1/1 flyer, right? 3 to untap, 2 to make a servo, 3 to untap, 1 to. Also, keeping the pressure on card means it's hard for him to minus into these good cards. Yeah, alright, they're slowing the roll on the attacks here, but I think the flyer is going to do a lot. They have 7 cards in their hand. We're acting like we have a shot here. Alright, make a servo. Untap the Retrofitter. And then turn that servo into a flyer. No, the flyer can get turned into a 4/4, which we might do on our opponent's turn. But this turn, it attacks Karn for 1 in the air, which keeps him off of his minus, both of his minus abilities. Okay, we're gonna petty theft the token. Never mind. We drew land number 7. So we've seen 7 lands in our top 12. Cool. Oh, actually, we searched for one of these spells. We're still gonna attack Karn. It shrinks the other constructs, and now it's not free for them to make another one. Now they have to like sack the thing. They still have 6 cards in their hand, so like good luck us. And they're 8 cards deeper in their library. And they can minus to get Urza right now. Yeah, yeah. It seems pretty unwinnable. We'll give it the old college try. The 7th mana lets us Retrofitter for 2 servos instead of a flyer, but 2 servos might be less valuable than a flyer, to be honest. Is this Oko? This might be Oko. This is no, this is Pest Infestation. So, given that we're going to lose this Retrofitter Foundry, I think the flyer is better. Alright. Now, next turn we can cast Sundering Titan, take them off of 3 lands. Sure. Hangerback Walker. X is 1. Sure. Reveal the top 2. They can have another island. I guess the Faithful City might have been funnier to give them, but given through how much they're ripping through their library. Our life total is dwindling, but the Sundering Titan should hold back their attackers unless they have Frost Titan again. Drew land number 8. Not exactly where I wanted to be, if I'm completely honest with you. Alright, you're a Sundering Titan. As long as we're drawing lands, I'm glad we have things to do with it. So here's Island, Forest, Mountain, and then that's it. Those are the only land types that exist. So that's a triple Stone Rain. Hopefully that buys us enough time. I mean, okay, well now they can minus to get some of these cards, but they don't have the mana to cast any of them. If they, I guess they could cast a Metamorph, but Metamorph doesn't have great things to copy. Copying Sundering Titan blows up their mountain, so it sets them back another land. They can cast Brazen Borrower with this mana. Reveal the top 2 cards. Now I'm in the market to give them... Yeah, you can have this. Mightstone and Weakstone. I don't think you have the mana to cast that. I mean, we're making a go of it. We're giving it a real shot. Mishra's Bauble, possibly the worst draw in the deck. No, lands are worse, obviously. Let's send everything at Karn. They have 2, 4, 6 on the ground, so that does suck a little bit. If they just attack, no, I can't send the Titan. That's annoying. Yeah, can't send the Titan. And of course, if we ever kill the Hangerback Walker, that'll make this construct really big. Let's see what you have access to. See what your top card is. Ketria Triome. Ketria Triome doesn't do very much. We're going to leave our Volcanic Island in hand and then pass the turn. Hope to draw Cryptic Command. That would be pretty cool. Sure, cast Brazen Borrower. We might have to stop attacking with our Thopter. Gitaxian Probe. Another very bad card. Yeah, reveal the top 2 cards. You can have... Oh, the Embereth Shieldbreaker is kind of funny because it can blow up 2 more of the lands, but no, you can have the Sparrows Headquarters. Ugin would be pretty cool. Ugin just -3 sweeps up enough stuff. Sure, go to 7. Now we're not at risk of getting Frost Titaned, thankfully. Okay, Spellseeker. What does Spellseeker do? Probably not a lot. Gets Ponder, I guess. Okay, we're gonna pay mana for the Gitaxian Probe. We're gonna pay the Iron Price. Good old-fashioned peak. Direfree Daredevil, Gold Span Dragon is a scary card. Okay, Triplicate Titan. Oh, we have 6, 7, 8 mana, so we can't cast Triplicate Titan this turn. It is a good draw for next turn. We might just leave this... I think we leave the Servo back so we can block the... Brazen Borrower. Mana Drain is interesting. I mean, it's Mana Drain or Ponder, and I don't think Ponder does anything. Yeah, we'll get Mana Drain. And I am going to play the land. The reason being, we have 7, 8, 9 mana. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I was going to say, if I draw a land, then I can next turn cast Triplicate Titan and keep up Mana Drain, but that's not the case. I'm 1 mana short of doing that. Sure, you grow that. We're at a bit of a holding pattern. I'm at 7. Our opponent has 10 cards in their library, and a lot of cool spells. Talisman of Indulgence I don't care about. I guess we can get rid of, like, all of this stuff. Put a card, yeah, okay, so they're getting a card with silver counter. Possibly, this is probably Urza, right? It doesn't say. Show game log. Oh, okay, they got back the Embereth Shieldbreaker. Do we counter this? Weirdly, I think we do. Because this holds back a lot of... Well, because we're going to cast Triplicate Titan next turn. Yeah, we're going to cast Triplicate Titan next turn anyway. So this denies them the 2-1, which I don't care much about, but it makes their attacks suck here. Keeping our life total high is relevant. They're not going to jam something else into Mana Drain. Okay, this is just a 2-1. I guess they can Gitaxian Probe, so they can see the imminent... Yeah, they're going to Gitaxian Probe, go to 17. And they can see the imminent Triplicate Titan. Yep. We can 6 here. It's just the Mana Drain probably wasn't going to get better than that, and I do want to keep this Brazen Borrower back. If we draw a spell now, we also have 2 extra mana to work with. Or is it 1? I guess it's 1, right? Yeah, because Battle Display is 1 mana. We have 1 extra mana to work with. Okay, interesting. So they're sending anyway. We go block, 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 take 3. Take 3 down to 4. Which makes that Goldsprand dragon scarier. But we have a incoming flyer. We know, we think that they don't have, um, we think that they don't have a Frost Titan. Tolarian Academy, not the draw. What's this? 8, 9 lands. Yeah, we've drawn a lot of lands this game. I don't think we can attack. Can we attack with the Sundering Titan? If we do, we're going to 1. No. Nope, nope, no attacks. But we can attack with the Triplicate Titan next turn. Oh, they have a Time Warp that they can get back. Probably going to. Yep, got the Time Warp. Does that kill me? I don't think that kills me. Because I'm taking 1, and then they'll have 2 flyers. I can block one of them. I'd go to 2? Yeah, this doesn't kill me. Unless I'm missing something. I mean, they might have something. What is this? Goldspan Dragon? Oh, I guess the Goldspan Dragon... Oh, wow. It's exactly lethal. That's crazy. Unless I don't kill the Hangerback Walker. If I go block, block, take 2... That I can block, block. Actually, no, I'm not dead. I just have to take an extra damage this turn. Because next turn they have to spend a similar amount of mana, or they're not going to have much left to do anything else. Sure, Time Warp is fine. Emery. Is Emery enough? No, Emery puts me to 1. Let's see. Pentad, Prism. They don't have any artifact. Oh, they have Black Lotus to cast with it. Okay, but otherwise they don't really have much to cast with it. I might not be done on their subsequent turn, but I might be done on the turn after. Oh, interesting. No attacks here. Cryptic Command would still be great because it lets me tap down their team. What do they put in their hand here? Show game log. What card did they put in their hand? Why doesn't it say in the game log? I'm probably gonna find out. Frost Titan. Does that kill me? I think that kills me. Block, take exactly 4. That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. Oh, okay. No, yeah, that kills me. Yeah. God, that's really annoying. I'll be honest, I'm pretty tilted. Almost beat the turn 1 Karn off of Black Lotus on a mulligan. How many play points do we have now? We have enough for another draft, so we'll probably do another one maybe next week or something. Why can't... Can I go back to the game? Why can't I go back to the game? I want to see... Oh, here it is, return to game. I want to see what our next card was. Probably another land. Probably not going to show it. Yeah, it's probably broken. Okay. Well, we did we did a Commander Masters draft. Found out that that worked differently than we thought it did, and weren't able to get a game. I'll probably try to get a game off stream. Did a Vintage Cube draft. I don't know. I think the draft portion went the worst, but it's also just one of those like, well, what do you do if you just never see the really powerful cards? You can't take the really powerful cards. That's the unfortunate part about draft. I really don't get how other people do. Like, I've seen a lot of pro players draft and just like they just get better cards than I do, and it's just one of those like, it can't be all signals, right? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm malding here, but whatever. Such as it is. We'll play more Magic in the future. Tomorrow we'll do other stuff. Probably start on that Georgia indictment with Trump. It's 98 pages, but we read the previous 2. We'll do it over 2 days. We'll figure it out. In any case, thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope you had a good time.
I did too, I suppose. And I'll catch you next time. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.